Set this live. I think we're live. Yeah, I think we're live. All right, awesome. Sen Sean, welcome to the panel, family. Welcome to the panel. Excuse me.
ETM Hotel a bit. Appreciate you having me on.
I had my doggone volume down. I'm over here, still slipping at elementary level with this technology. How's it going today, family?
Man, doing all right. Can't complain. How about yourself?
Doing well, doing well. Just trying to get at it, fill in these little gaps and get this thing back rolling, man. And ready to get at it. How's the family?
Man, everybody doing fine.
Good.
Can't complain. Everybody on your end, man.
We getting there. A little month here, a little
I know you. Your son doing better?
Yeah, he's doing a little bit better. I kept him out. He hadn't been back to the care center since since last Thursday. And so I just been, well, I would say that end of that Friday actually to the end degree, but other than that, I just kind of kept him, pumped a lot of herbs in him, cleaned him out. He had an allergic reaction. They messed around and gave him milk. That's not part of his special diet because he has a vegan diet. And that's one of the things I was kind of dreading that may happen. That one day, somebody come along or a different instructor or teacher at some point, lose focus of what's going on. We're trying to deal with all these kids and give them something you don't need, whatever. But I saw that another kid was sick in there Thursday. They had a pajama day Thursday. And some kid was like really sick. And they had, anytime a child gets sick in a daycare or whatever or care center, they have to bleach out the area or wipe every stuff down. So, that still doesn't stop, little communicable diseases, necessarily communicable diseases, communicable little viruses and bacteria getting into the other little kids. And, in his case, he's trying to fight that every day. All these kids running around with snotty nose, all that heavy mucus from the milk and sugar and all that, carbonic acid. And, so it's a gauntlet for him every day. So we gotta keep that moss in and keep him slippery in and stuff like that. Fennel seed, stuff like that is really good to keep his system purged. It can keep his immune system built up. But when you got like 8 or 9 little kids around you and all of them, snotty nose or running nose and they touching everything and wiping, y'all know it's like little kid. It's like a snot fest. Bacteria.
ETM y'all.
How you doing today, Netcha? How you doing?
Oh. What'd you say?
How you doing today? My voice a little crackly a little bit, excuse me.
Man, we had the feds popped up on us.
No.
Feds audit, government contract audit. Yeah, that's what they do, though. They pop up on you to make sure you got your stuff.
Yep, I've been through it twice, actually, especially when I was actually on the corporate plantation. My last little entrepreneur endeavor with this company, and it's weird too because out of our little so-called branch, and that's when I was in South Carolina. I was out of Columbia. That's when we were living in Lugoff at the house down there. But we was outperforming the whole country a couple times in terms of our output, sales, and stuff. And it got so juicy. It was outperforming the other little teams or whatever across the country, whatever. Either somebody sabotaged and called the folks on us, or they just popped because they saw a heightened spike in our book value. You know what I'm saying? This literally happened, and I would say it actually happened over a summer. We got busy one summer, and it was just crazy.
They come when you got certifications. They come and they want to make sure your business is ran by a veteran, and you're documenting the revenues that you're getting in, and you're paying your taxes and all of that great stuff.
Typical stuff. And like I said, it's part of the business.
Yeah. That's why I teach the stuff that I do. Most people, they think that I just be trying to draw things out the way I do, but I don't, because I want you to be prepared from day one, because they're going to come after day one documentation. And they ain't gonna be worried about, oh, I only made $100 in 2016. It's 2028. Oh, you better have that $100 accounted for too. Where it
Exactly.
came from? Did it come from your personal? Did you borrow it? Did somebody give it to you?
Right.
Where did it come from?
And especially like I said, if anything you're dealing with, government contracts or any kind of legality value where you procuring any kind of paperwork from them. So you got to be on top of it. Even if let's say it was just regular, private business practice, whatever. Still, you want to be on top of your game. And for us, especially as African folk, we have to be very meticulous about how we read these, these bottom lines, these final lines, and just be on top of our game. Cross our T's and dot our I's.
I tell you what, you want to hire people, just use a third party company. Just use a third party payroll, because that's half your battle right there.
Yep. And having a
paying the
CPA.
wages,
Yep.
Paying the wages, paying the taxes, and then being able to get them in the year numbers. That's half your battle.
Accounts receivable, accounts payable stuff together. All your stuff is, it's pretty been there. It's weird too, because a lot of that we had to learn on our own, from the main perspective too, even though we had a private company, because the business that we were doing, obviously, we were grooming managers. It's like a manager trainee that, operational management program.
Accounting is my background, so it kind of works. It's not foreign to me, and I was an auditor, so I welcome the auditor. I'd be like, that's all you got,
right?
I be saying to myself, like, you missed that, right?
Right.
But I ain't gonna tell you.
I'm with you. It matters. I always say, he who pays attention to detail is a person that has a bright future ahead of them, because it's important that you recognize the value in attention to detail. And a lot of our people are very lackadaisical when it comes to that. And I don't know what it is per se, but for me it matters. I'm not going to even attribute it to me even being in the military, because I was like that before I came in. I was very meticulous about how value.
You know why people? Because somebody told them that they didn't have to do it, and they're getting away with it, but they never told them when they got caught.
Right, and that's a part of it too. And like I said, a lot of it is just a character, a character scenario. You got to build your character in a way that you want to be recognized and respected, and people respect that kind of responsible mindset in terms of attention to detail. Having material before you and choosing not to read it when it's beneficial to you, read it, and then you come back to the people that gave it to you, and they ask you, and you turn around and ask them questions about the material you just gave them to read. It's like, I gave it to you, but they want you to kind of explain it to them, verbatim, line for line. And I'm like, and that's fine in some cases, but again, you have to have that self-help mechanism mindset. You have to be self-actualized in a way where you can get stuff done and interpret data, compute it, spit it back out, keep it moving, right? Making, swift decisions on a pivot, what I'm saying? Stuff like that matters, and it shows a sense of sharp business skills and the management values too, where people look at you, as a beacon. I know we off topic a little bit, but this is a part of what we do too, even when investing in trading, because it's the same value. People will look at you and like, okay, well, this person has their stuff together, right? They're on top of their game, right? They're constantly, on top, ahead of the game, or ahead of the information curve, so to speak, right? Because you're doing the necessary due diligence to kind of be in that parameter, or in that kind of echelon of space. So it's important. So I mad respect to you, Sister Monica, Monica, because I know what it's like for all you guys. Sinshan, obviously you guys on the especially even that, learning another language. Obviously it's our classical language value, but just what it takes to put in that work, that due diligence, the attention to detail that you have to go through to kind of pick up this new mindset, new skill set, so to speak. And it's the same, like I said, with any kind of business endeavor, entrepreneur values anyway, because you want to be the best you, right? Because y'all know the Black community gets a very, very bad grade when it comes to customer service, right? Customer support, customer service is like what, in our community, and people don't take that serious, right? Hence, that's why there's no Black, dollars being spent in the Black businesses from a very lucrative perspective, right? Because people like, I don't want to deal with the attitude. I don't want to deal with, fugazi product, they're people not taking time to comb through their product, make sure, everything's nice. And, you take that extra mile, that extra step goes a long way. So again, I know we touching on business and, all over the place a little bit, but that stuff matters again. So when you translate that into investing and trading, you will see that, you know, again, as I always keep saying, investing and trading is not a lazy man's game. All right. And that's important that we recognize that too, because, you know, it's easy to, you know, to go out and buy a scanner and buy some screeners, or even, you know, download the free screeners, and you just roll up out of bed and just go trade something. Right. But that comes at a point where, you know, you're more seasoned in trading. But as a beginner, there's a lot of little steps you have to go through. Right. That kind of, you know, rites of passage, so to speak. Right. To make sure that anytime you put your soldiers to work for you, meaning your dollars, then, you know, that you sending them out to battle, you know, well equipped, you know, with the best boots, the best firearms, the best tactical training, right? Everything that they need to, you know, go out there and, you know, and win that battle against the market, you know, and go out there and procure some capital and bring it back home for you, right? So to speak, you know, and this is going to be a kind of awkward little analogy. It's kind of like, you know, when you go out there on the old folks say you go out there and make my money. What is it? Pimp name slip back, whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You got to go out there and get it, so to speak. So, but again, you know, once again, that's just a part of our craft here as investors and trainers, you know, traders and so forth. So again, segueing right into the bill for tonight. You know, that's just another part of understanding, you know, how business works. You know, from, you know, a private sector scenario to, you know, obviously just a one-man show in terms of you investing in trading, right? Because where we get audited, so to speak, is quoted as the value of what? Filing our taxes, right? So anytime you go out there and procure money from the market at a certain value, you know, that's capital gains, right? Luxury, you know, capital gains tax value has to come forward, right? The government has to get theirs too, because you're getting, obviously, you know, free money, so to speak, you know what I'm saying, on top of, you know, in the value of your investing. So you got to be able to kind of, you know, make sure you keep up with your gains and your losses, right? Because all that stuff can be written off. That's the greatest thing I love about this. You can write this stuff off, right? So if you have, go ahead, family.
No, I said correct.
You can if you have a loss, you know, a certain value, numerical value on loss, you can turn around and write that off, right? Again, you know, to my knowledge, I don't think you can write off lottery tickets, right? To my, I could be wrong, but you can't write that off if you lose Powerball. You can't, you know, write off if you bet your buddy, you know, Super Bowl game and you lose. You can't write that loss off unless you know, hide it under another little.
I make that mug a charitable contribution.
I'll just say that. I'll just say unless you're doing some kind of charitable contribution and set it up that way, cook the books. It's the only way. That is so
less than $75. You don't need a receipt.
Exactly. So I do. I say that because you know, it has to meet a certain threshold, same way they did with the crypto market, so to speak, and how they are, you know, constantly trying to regulate that, right? So they did it with the you know, before they really kind of start getting to the, you know, the intricate values of allowing the Bitcoin futures on the CBOE and the CME and all that stuff. The IRS initial report came out that, you know, if you have any kind of Bitcoin or crypto investments, let's say under 10,000, I mean, if you make the investment under 10,000, right, you didn't have to report that to the IRS. So what people were doing, they were literally buying $9,999 worth of crypto. You know, especially you know, obviously Bitcoin now is under that price, but you know, at that moment, and here's what the kicker was. Now, any kind of, you know, income generated above that 10,000 threshold, as long as you bought in under 9,000, excuse me, under 10,000, you didn't even necessarily have to report that either, unless you chose to. But you know, now that they're refining a lot of the laws now in terms of the crypto space, you know, they're looking at every value that you take off the market at a certain value, you know, you have to kind of report it, right? Or at least take an itemization count of it, right? You know, so, you know, here we are, you know, and then just a part of, once again, what we do, but we're not worried about it because guess what? It's still what? House money, right? It's ancestral money, as you guys always hear me say, it's ancestral money, right? It's money owed to us anyway. You know, we'll pay the little funky little tax dollars, you know what I'm saying? And, but we still taking money back that's owed to us in terms of our little, you know, I guess mental value of calling it reparations, so to speak, right? So get excited about that, you know, going to the market and getting some gains, and then saying, you know, this one here for the ancestors, you know, so that's awesome. So again, let me do a little roll call. I know people still kind of filtering in. I know it's late. You know, we kind of missed last session because of, you know, the scenario happened with my little guy. So, you know, people are probably like, man, I don't know if he's going to be on tonight or not, but, you know, we're going to get this thing back cracking and rolling. And you know, that's the value of also having it where you can come back and rewatch it too. So anything that you missed during the actual live session, you always go back and rewind this thing. You got a special link. It's in your emails. You can always go back and do like a little, you know, re-over or redo whatever, a repeat scenario, and then, you know, get any kind of content you might have missed. Consider doing a live stream value. So again, I'm excited and I'm happy, and I'm thrilled and I'm honored, and you know, saying that you guys are here along this journey again through this intro to investing workshop. And again, like I said, we're gonna make up for all the little missed times or whatever, little cues. Because once again, 3 months is a long time, but you guys got to realize, I say 3 month commitment because I know it's really going to take you guys to really be focused in, you know, to get a lot of this stuff. Because I mean, the market is very complex in some values, but it's a very simple mechanism once you learn how to do it. All right, let me say that again. The market is very complex from its overall totality value. Probably in some cases it may seem overwhelming, but it's very simple, right, in the mechanism value and how you go about operating. Right. So once you get the nuts and the bolts, the back end information, the back end knowledge, and the how-tos and the whatnots and all this, you're really good. You're really going to be set. And I can say that unequivocally with no kind of, fear in my voice at all. Once you are really solid about knowing what you are, how to do this, you're going to be set for life. You're right. The market is not going to change. It's going to upgrade in terms of emerging markets and growth values, but the only thing that will get better probably is the technological value. Obviously, like right now we got the ability to trade mobile now. Before, you know, they didn't have all that, you know, that luxury. They had dial in. Y'all remember the old dial in phone internet connection? You had to sit there about 40 seconds to hear that. Now you don't have to even deal with none of that no more. I mean, it's literally turnkeys, nanosecond, right? You hit your little cell phone, place your little trade, you on your way, right? So again, we are just, that's the value of so-called technological, revolution, evolution, whatever, that things are going to get better, right? So, who knows what the future will be like in terms of investing and trading. You literally probably just, had a little wrist chip in your wrist, and you just push your little wrist button and just, and have like a little hotkey snare. You have 100 shares of this, and you just hit the little thing and keep on about your business. Who knows, right? So again, we're in a very unique field. To be able to kind of, once again, put ourselves in a situation to make some money, that's gonna, like I say, it's here to stay, right? There's nothing about what we do in terms of investing and trading that's gonna, come to a place where it's firewall and becomes obsolete, right? Other businesses come and go, right? Opportunities sometimes come and go, right? Whatever. But guess what? The market is here to stay. As long as we in this old kind of, for haters to love it, capitalist society, we're going to have ability to go into the market and make money while others are waiting for the boss to pay them some money, right? Because we're going to know how to go out there and be fishers as opposed to people that sit back waiting to have the fish served to them. So get excited about that again. So just kind of retouching back on some of the stuff. So I know we missed a week, so it's kind of good to get the brain cells functioning on some of the old, conversation pieces, so to speak. So again, roll call. Thank you again, Eva Bamana, for showing up as always. Send Sean the back chat. My over Chris in the back chat. Welcome to the panel, family. As always, honored to be in you guys' presence. We got family Alex Stevens in the back chat. Oh, so let me add you guys. I did tell you guys we're gonna start being a little bit more interactive. So I'm gonna add you guys actually onto the live stream panel too, so you can actually get a chance to get your voice out there. You may have questions, beyond just being able to type in the back chat, but just being able to interact with one another, because when we start trading, live in some cases, for some of you guys that have not started trading yet, and you guys are gonna be in and out of these different little Discord rooms. When I add them, or add you guys to it or whatnot, you're gonna be in that flux of trading, and so you gonna sometimes you may want to bounce some information off somebody or whatever, and whatever the case, you need to kind of be able to have that vocal value if you can't type to them. So again, these are just some of the good moments I love about this, because obviously I went through the same thing when I first started really getting excited about intraday trading. Let me see if I can find. I think I sent it to you already. Over Caesar, also over David. Our brother Alex. I don't know if you have a Google Hangouts or not, but I just tried to add you. For some reason, they won't let me plug it in. I may have to do it on a different name. Who knows? But again, I'm gonna go ahead and get started once again, because I don't want to go long. We already kind of missed last week, so then obviously I'm already on. Excuse me, a tight time schedule. Excuse me a little bit. because obviously, you know, my scenario, you guys know what's going on with me at this point. So I'm just fortunate to be able to even come on tonight, and I'm very grateful for it because it's been a tough one. You know what I'm saying? It's been a tough week a little bit. But again, so let me get this thing cracking. I think I added. Oh, I can add you, Sister Kiana, as well. Let me add you to the panel. So just in case, I definitely want to get in the habit of, you know, interacting with you guys, you know, in real time as we break this stuff down and make it make sense to you guys. So I think I just added you as well, Sister Kiana. Yeah, I think you should have it as well, Brother Alex. Matter of fact, let me go and post the links. I don't know if I think everybody got it, but you know how it is. You know, people like, I ain't get it in my email. I sit there, everybody. I'm like, how you ain't got any email, man? What kind of email firewalls y'all got? I know you got your little junk and you don't want to answer this email like this or whatever, but you know, I want to make sure I'll be able to get the information out to you guys. Has the link. I said yes. Sister Kiana said she hadn't. Oh, I guess that was earlier hours because she in here now, obviously. All right, so let me just post it in there for now until I get away the firewall this thing to the point where I can really just send it to you guys, because obviously you guys are contributors to this platform value, this training, and that matters to me in terms of your privacy value, right? So you know, I know we got a lot of people in that room, again, but you know, this private value of the mentoring is really, you know, geared for you guys that really want this. All right, because you made a contribution, and that shows me that you want this information, and so by that, you know, by that token alone, that just, you know, makes me feel even more, you know, committed to making sure I give you the best of what all I know, you know, to make sure I put you on the right path. You know, again, you know, at some point you're gonna veer off and find other little people out there you can latch with, and that's what it's all about. Once again, just surround yourself around some sharp people and learning this. Again, so when you know, really get this to the point where you got it down to like a little science, you start, you know, obviously paying it forward at this point. Now you got your family involved, you got the, you know, your wife or your husband involved, you got the kids involved now, right? They're seeing you do this stuff, they're seeing you making trades, and you know, Mama, you made $100 that fast, or you made, you know, $30 that fast, and you know, whatever. Dad, you did that, like, man, you know, you made $1,000 like that, Daddy, and what all you did that, you know, that's gonna be mind blowing. Right, that's going to really change the mindsets, you know, in terms of the people that's around you, how they really value, how valuable you are at this point, right? Because at any given day, you know, Daddy can go out there and come back with a, you know, a 5-digit bag, right? You know, obviously I know some trades that did 6 digits in one day, literally in one trade, you know, and that's crazy. And one of my buddies today, actually, a guy named Stephen Duxley, you know, I kind of, you know, have watched him in his growth and evolution. Actually, you know, he, you know, started with like $27,000 off his parents. You know, he's in college. They gave him a little boost. Obviously, you get that. You know, he's an Asian guy. And just real quick to touch it on his story before I, you know, get to the bill. But you know, he was following Timothy Sykes. Some of you guys might have seen some of his stuff. You saw that, some of the video stuff I gave you as well. I think from the links I sent you in the initial video. Initial intro email. But you know, his story came very early. Right, he just came in with a different aspect of how he valued the market outside all this kind of overhype. You know, you got to do it this way and this way only. And he turned $27,000 literally to 1 million in literally less than 1 year. Let that marinate. And this guy that had no previous training, no none of that. He just came into the market. He started following the guy that was trading. I was in Tim's site. You know, read some different book stuff like I gave you guys. You went through all that little back end, little, you know, technical analysis. But one thing that separates him from a lot of people that got all this kind of overly book smart mentality is his intuition, right? Intuition is like everything in terms of investing and trading. Trust me when I tell you that, right? Your intuition, the ability to kind of, ingest data, compute it, and spit it back out literally in seconds, right? Make a decision on drop of a dime, so to speak. Right. So again, that's what my whole thing is with you guys, is just trying to really build on the psychology so you guys be very sharp and turn key when it comes to making these split-second decisions when you're investing in the market, because it matters. Entry is everything, right? First impression is everything. When you obviously, I've been out there for you single folks, and you want to make that good impression. Well, your entry is everything too. You want to make a good impression in the stock market. You want to buy it at the very low, at the bottom, right? If you're short selling, you want to catch it, up there high as near the top as much as possible, right? So you can get the best bang for your buck and insulate yourself in that particular trade or that, that moment. So again, But that guy, like, cause I sent a little video in the back chat, or excuse me, in the Facebook group. You know, some of the guys I followed and, you know, watched their rise. There's some of them, not all of them, but that was just some of them guys, just, you know, personal inspirational stories and stuff like that. But, you know, he's in there, brothers, my brother Stephen Ducks, and my other guys, Wolves of Wall Street. I posted him one day. I'm actually gonna try to have him on, speak to you guys as a special guest. This is the guy that was, you know, went through the whole gauntlet when they got college degrees and, you know, became a full-time nurse. You know, I was like anybody, you know, it became a monotonous scenario, you know, very tedious. You know, he fired his boss, walked away from the, you know, that profession, which is a very noble profession anyway. We're talking about nursing here, and became a full-time trader. You know, made more money than he ever could have made in his wildest, you know, imaginations and dreams, literally in a few months. You know, 7-8 months in, he's already well over, like, you know, I think his 5th or 6th month in the trade. I think he was close to over maybe over 250,000, somewhere around there. Right now, he's definitely at a million level. Right, he had his 1-year anniversary last year. I think it was around April, something like that. His marriage anniversary and his 1-year anniversary of trading. This is how the universe works, guys. And I'm gonna get on to the bill tonight. On his marriage anniversary and his 1-year anniversary on the same day, he hit for $95,000 in the stock market. You talking about celebrating the anniversary the right way? He short sold the stock ALQA, I think that's what it is. I remember like yesterday. I think I have the screenshots of it. He shared it with us and shared it with me. He hit for 95,000 on this anniversary. All right, hold on. Somebody, I guess, calling me. They might be on the wrong link. They might be trying to. Let me see. I think it's about trying to get on the panel. Let me check. Take care of this real quick, guys. I think I sent it to him though. Let me see. Yeah, because I think everybody else should have the other link, but if not, I'll take care of it. But again, like I said, that was just his success story, and everybody has theirs. Y'all, you know, I shared mine with y'all. You know, my little, I think $16,000, you know, trade in one day, you know, in a matter of a few hours, you know, whatever the case. But again, I keep reiterating these things because I want you guys to see the totality of why we do this and why it's important that we learn this. Because, like I say, any given day, you know, somebody's gonna, or in terms of you guys are going to have such a moment, you know, and then it's going to be like, you know, larger than life to you guys, and so to speak. But you're going to find out that, hey, you could have been doing this a long time ago, right? I mean, you should have been, you know, you're going to be like I was, like, man, if somebody should have told me this, like, you know, 10, 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, or, you know, 3 years ago, whatever. Come on, I know traders that are 17 to 18. Some of these guys I mentor, some of them actually mentoring us, right? They started early, right? And these guys, you know, started out with $2,000, $3,000, they then turned that in like $50,000, $60,000, you know, in a matter of months to a year, you know, and now they're just on their way, you know. You know, there's a lot of our parents, or whatever case, in terms of us, and we even parent, you know, we ain't even making that kind of money in terms of supplemental income, all right? And they're in high school still. So imagine when they hit like 23, 24, 25, when they really get this skill set down, man, that's why it's, you know, we in a special class. I keep reiterating that you guys are in a special class, meaning a craft, economic, and a skill set class, unlike a lot of your peers, right? While they're out there overly consuming, you learn how to be a producer, distributor, seller, and you learn how to use this market to take care of a lot of these things, like your mortgage and your car notes, all this stuff. When you get this stuff down pat, you're gonna learn how to, you know, trade in a way that it take care of your bills without you having to go into your liquid, you know, assets and your liquid cash flow to be able to, you know, and that'll, I mean, it'll be like a well-oiled mechanism at that point, machine, right? The market's going to pay that stuff, that bill off every month, right? For me, I'm still in that same boat, you know, making it all make sense, you know, so making it all make sense to the point when you hit that fine tune, and it's just really the way you really want to go overboard. Because obviously I got some big goals and dreams, aspirations for me. You guys saw, I've seen some of my little trades in there, but, you know, I got some big dreams and goals. You know, for me, it's all about, you know, taking it to the next level and taking the skill set back and sharing it with you guys. So again, with all my rambling, let me get on with tonight's bill. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. So I want to kind of, you know, I want to jump right into it so I can kind of get off and go handle my little business anyway. Because like I said, I just, you know, I'm grateful that, you know, the Eva came down to be able to get my little son together anyway. Then she got to turn around, drive right back and go back up north. So, you know, we're sacrificing. We want to do our part. whatever. So you guys are well deserved of that too. So let me make sure. I think let me get back to the session screen. All right. So right now, so yeah, I'm gonna add you to the panel as well, Eva, Erica. I'm adding everybody to the panel tonight. You know, whether you get on or not, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna add you guys because, like I said, we're gonna get to that phase of the training where we're going to be a little bit more, you know, hands-on anyway, interacting with one another a lot, you know, especially when we start going to the charts breakdown and, you know, things that you might have saw and didn't see when we're going through the brokers, all that stuff. I want to help you guys with that, walk you through it, you know, whatever, you know, but that's where we are in terms of this session. So tonight's session, obviously session 5, we're dealing with charts and patterns. You know, last session, you know, obviously we kind of went over some more of a little, you know, technical analysis kind of stuff. From an oversight perspective, a little bit of fundamental analysis, you know, understanding some basic chart parameters. We didn't really go deep in depth, but but that stuff is once again becoming you know, very relevant now, because now we're going to move into that phase where you guys can start getting your brokerage platform for some of you guys that don't have them. So for some of you guys that you know, so real quick, I know we got a few, you know, like I think 7-8 people watching at this moment here, if I'm not mistaken here. How many of you guys do not have a Robinhood account yet? I think everybody in here should already have one at this point, right? And whether you went through and completed the whole thing or not, but regardless, if there's anybody in the back chat at this point that does not have a Robinhood account, please press 1, right? Or put up your little, you know, symbolism, put up a high five like you're raising your hand.
I don't have one. They won't let me get one.
Why is that, family? What happened?
They saying that it was a glitch in the system or something, or it's stuck. So every time I try to open an account, you know, it'll say it's pending for like a long time. And they said it happened sometime or some stuff they were saying, but I can't get it open until whatever that little glitch is in the system, you know, somehow needs to go through.
Is it per link in your bank, or is it per something on their end, or is it because, you know, they have 3-step verification like anything else, like especially when they do like YCs like they do with crypto. So I'm going through American-based brokers, obviously, you know, you're going strictly through the, you know, SEC, then obviously that links you straight to the IRS where they can make sure they back check, you know, the social and all that stuff. So
it's on their end, they said, and they said there's nothing they can do about it. And I'm like, okay, so you saying I can't get an account? Like it didn't make sense to me, but how they explain it, it was like it was something with their system that they needed to fix, and they don't know when that's going to happen. I'm not sure why or how that's even possible.
Yeah, that's like a scratch and re-security, just doing a whole new security patch for your credentials. You know, so I mean, we can be afterwards. So when we do our personal little call anyway, I probably think, you know, we can do. We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
Because I don't. Do you actually speak to someone, you know, vocally, or did they just email you back and forth?
I did speak to someone.
Okay, so
but yeah, I spoke to someone, but that was like in October. So
Chris,
I was just trying to what?
Did you you know, I was having issues on the cell phone, but when I went to the computer, it let me through.
Oh, I haven't tried it on the computer. So I just got my laptop back, so maybe I'll try it on the computer. But I don't know how to restart everything from there. You know what I'm saying? So
I got you. Like I said, this is our little task. So you take the task on, and I'm gonna, hold you to it that we're gonna figure this thing out, because obviously there's no way in the world you should not have, especially if you got Acorn and the stash account. Then you're already connected to the broker space at some point anyway. So it can't be a security patch value on their end, unless, or on your end, unless they just got something crazy on their side. All right, or whatever the case, they just give me some misinformation. It's probably a lazy customer service rep that day, and I don't know, I know how to push them buttons, ask them questions that'll make them get me somebody on the phone kind of scenario. You know what I'm saying? That can get this fixed out. So and it's very simple. It's like I got other brokerage accounts, so I don't see why this would even be an issue at this point. I have Stash, Acorn, all this stuff went through like a verification value. I already have all these credentials in play. If I can go to another parameter, probably set up another bet. I don't know what it is, but ultimately at the end of the day, there's no reason why I should not, be waiting this long to get my account set up. So this is just unheard of. But we'll work it out. We'll work that out, brother. No worries.
All right.
So is there anybody else back there that still doesn't have the Robinhood yet? So brother Al, you say you still waiting for approval. Okay. How long has it been since you signed up for yours as well, family? You can just type in the back chat. Not you can send it to me personally. Doesn't matter. But either way, we'll go about seeing what we can do to kind of get these things taken care of. And not like everybody has to get a Robinhood. It's not like the end all be all to you guys learning value. But again, we just know it to be a very, very user-friendly brokerage app because it has no commission fees, right? So yeah, that's too long. So you shouldn't be no more than 3. It should be no more than, really, 3, 4 days, 5 days, whatever in the case like that, right? So that's something we'll dig into it, right? And if they give you guys run around about some silly stuff, right, then we'll just go through Ustocks Trade. Ustocks Trade is another brokerage platform that requires no commission fees, and they also have the tier 1 specs in terms of their trading value, meaning or T+1, excuse me, where as soon as you trade a stock, you don't have to wait for your money to settle. You can turn around and trade another stock right back, back to back. And they also have no PDT rule at the Ustocks Trade. Now, it may not be as robust in terms of execution values and some of the trades being available to trade like Robinhood, and that's just the quirks with some of these little, phone and mobile app type little trader brokers. But you still can't, utilize it and not have to pay a commission fee to trade, especially if you're just still trying to learn. So we'll break all that down. And that's obviously a portion of tonight's topic anyway, and going through the value of, the charts patterns and obviously building up a platform, so to speak, getting into that broker side of the house, right? Understanding how to get ourselves, our platforms together, basically. So outside of that, we have a few people that, obviously have an issue over Chris and over Al. We'll work on that, but everybody else at this point has a Robinhood to my knowledge, right? And like I said, for those who are not in tonight, I'll email and ask that stuff personally anyway again. But other than that, that's fine. We'll work it out. Because the next thing, obviously, outside of having the Robinhood, is that I want you guys to go ahead and submit to get a TD Ameritrade account, right? Now the TD Ameritrade account, again, for utilizing for the paper trading aspect of it, to get you guys started with, looking at this stuff, from a, full scale platform perspective. Some of you guys may already have it. I already know. I think my sister Erica, she has a TD Ameritrade. Some of you other guys may have it. I'm not sure. Excuse me, but we'll get there, right? So when we start doing these like online, interactive workshops, and everybody got their TD Ameritrade accounts, up and running at the same time while we're having these sessions, like a real workshop, then we can be able to go through charts and stuff together in real time, right? Because at some point, that's the whole aspect that we got to make sure we have all that stuff down pat within this second month stretch, so to speak, right? So by the third month, everybody should have a brokerage account, at least, one that they can paper trade through it. It don't necessarily even have to be, TD Ameritrade. There's others, and I'll be able to kind of help you guys around that too. But everybody should have a paper trading account where we can do live interactive trades too, and analyzing a certain trade and breaking it down. All right, just obviously, you seeing me do it, it's fine. But until you have it in front of you and you seeing it from your perspective, in real time, then it just matters that you really have that capability. And what I know what it would do to your psyche too when you actually having to kind of plug and play all this stuff and and make it make sense to you. Same way when you buy a new cell phone, you go through to learn all the little gadgets and the ins and outs. It's the same thing with a trading platform, no different, right? So it's important. All right, so yeah, so she's saying hers finally went in when she logged in to online on a PC, and that could be a security value in terms of even the way you go about signing up. So I always try to go through online value anyway, it's coming from a full web browser, I should say, right? Because cell phones got so much leeway that these days you can do everything on it now. But if you just want that full web browser type setup, then just go and do it on a PC. If you don't have one close by or something, just maybe go to a public library as long as you have that HTTPS up there. That hyper transfer. What is it? I forgot to even know it. I should know that too because I obviously came through the field a bit. But y'all get my point. Make sure it's secure, and then that you should be good to go in terms of going through there and getting everything set up, right? So we'll make sure we have all this stuff done. Definitely going to third month, but I want it to be, we can knock this out by at least, the next week or two. If it takes that long, then, that'll be great. Right. Because again, I want to be able to start doing these hands-on scenarios where everybody have their laptop computer up at the same time. And we going through a simulated trade. Right. Obviously TD Ameritrade has that function where you can do like a simulated trade from the day prior. We can just break down the whole type of trade, go down, break down, if you would have bought in at this price, overseas, where would you would have got in at this time frame? Show me what pattern you saw at this time frame here, Eva, Erica. What do you see, right here at this close and going into the close, Eva, Kiana, that's the greatest thing I love about it, in terms of the interactive trading charts and platforms, so we can really, itemize, breaking this stuff down. So again, going over the charts, going over the patterns, the technical analysis aspect, so to speak, indicators, oscillators, and all the kind of stuff like that, right? So she has her just had fun, and that's fine. As long as you get it, you don't necessarily have to even fund it right away. You just got to make sure you get everything set up where you got access to the platform, right? Having the ability to, whenever you choose to want to fund it, through whatever bank value you have, you can, so you can utilize it, in that moment, right? So that's going to be very important that once again we get all these things up and situated, right? Going especially definitely about a third month, because again, like I say, once we get through this kind of commitment value in terms of 3 months, we're moving into the Discord rooms, right? You guys must actually start adding you guys to the Discord room within the next maybe 2-3 weeks, if that, right? Because right now we need to get some of the base stuff still down pat. So when you get around all these different other little traders and stuff, when they come at you with all these different ideas and they just throwing stuff out there, you need to learn how to filter what's good information and what's not. And that's why I hadn't done it yet, because it's still he's like I gotta protect you guys, so to speak. Y'all guys, trust me, some of them chat rooms could be very brutal, right? Some of them Discord rooms could be very brutal, right? There's people in there that got large amounts of money. Some people got small amounts of money. People coming in with all kind of different mindsets, and y'all can only imagine. Right. So at the end of the day, you need to learn how to be able to sift through what's actionable and what's just a whole lot of hot air. Right. So that could be confusing for a person that's just starting out. You got everybody in your ear throwing you out ideas or whatever the case, and you chasing stuff as opposed to just using your your true technical analysis and due diligence to make smart decisions that can cost you. Right. So I want to make sure you guys have the best information, at least to my knowledge. So it'll be all good and gravy. So. So I'm actually still building on my Discord. I have my own personal Discord room. I'm just still trying to get it built up to the place where I know at least nothing else, that'll be our little comfort den where we all can be in and out of the day. In and out of throughout the day while the market's in full action. So if a person jumps on and say, hey, what's going on, and I might have seen this or what you guys watching, and we can share that information with one another, so it could be useful for us in our trading. All right. So again. All right, so let's jump right into this, guys, and so we can kind of get through this a little bit here. Like I said, I don't plan on being 2-3 out, 3 out and all that kind of stuff tonight. Obviously, I'm on the time schedule anyway. Before she get out of here too, because she got to get him scenario down and make sure he's good to go. And then I get up early in the morning anyway too, to get him ready for because he actually going back to the care center tomorrow morning, which I'm already on my pins and knees about it, but. We're going to give it a shot. So I'm going to get up a little early, itemize and see if he's good to go and get him in there early so I can come back and obviously trade the market and not be stuck, having to drive. Because I got a long drive to even get him there because I got to drive all the way to Fort Lee. And, I live in lower west side of Richmond, Virginia. So that's a commute to and fro. So I got to get there and get back before the market opens up because I got some trades out there. So again, let's jump right into it. So if there's any questions real quick before I get started, for anybody that's on the panel by any chance or whatever, feel free to jump in, chime in. As before, obviously I'm gonna use some of you guys to kind of help me read some of this stuff, which is good because you mix up the voice, inflection, keeps people kind of, paying attention a little bit. So by all intents and purpose. So if you don't mind, I may have some of you guys reading a little bit tonight as well. All right, so let's jump right into it. So all right, so the first thing, again, we're talking about technical analysis and chart patterns, right? We went over technical analysis a little bit last week, or the week prior, what I'm talking about, last session, so to speak. And, we're just dealing with the whole aspect of learning how to, break down the reasons why a particular, asset may be in play that day, you know, how does it, you know, fare in terms of its chart value, meaning what it looked like on a chart, you know, what's exciting about it, you know, what's may not, you know, what may not be so exciting about it, whatever the case, depends on how you value it. Be it you short selling it or you know, you taking a long side. And obviously I don't want to get ahead of you guys with all the short selling stuff because that's gonna come a lot later in your careers, trust me. You you know, the hardest thing to do is learn how to short sell early. You need to learn how to buy long and, you know, set it and forget in a lot of ways, and then swing trading. So I want to make sure you guys are solid first net. All right. So again, just going over the like I say, the different indicators, like I say, and the different trend lines, so to speak, right? So when you see a trend, you know, in anything, whether you're going to follow it or you just choose not to follow it, in the end of the day, you know it to be, you know, reputable as what some kind of value trend that, you know, people are excited about. It's the same way in the stock market, right? Stocks have a certain trend value or a certain value that they're presenting themselves from a visual perspective, lets you know that, you know, a turn of events about to happen. You know, be it the stock gonna go up or it's gonna go down, right? Or it may just go sideways, right? There's only three possibilities in the stock movement: up, down, or kind of sideways. Ain't no in between. That's it. You know, we have a very basic skill, very basic, excuse me, apparatus and mechanism value in terms of how we, you know, what we look for as investors and traders. But there's a lot of complexities mixed into that. I get it, but if you're either going up, or it's going down, or it's going what, sideways, period, right? So you learn those basics, understands how to break it down from a chart or pattern perspective, then you'll be fine. So again, if you guys keep it up in the back chat a little bit, you know, let me know that everything's kind of, you know, clear and precise thus far. You keep it up, let me know. If there's anything I need to repeat, let me know at any point. All right, so let me jump right into it. So the first thing we want to talk about, we was going over brokers a little bit, right? So let me just do the brokers first, and then we'll get right into the chart pattern, stuff like that. Let me just do it that way. All right, so let me see, where's the complete guide? All right, so I'm gonna share my screen here real quick, and then we're gonna blow through this, and you know, we're gonna do like a lot of reading like we always do, but that's just a part of it. We gotta learn this stuff, right? So it's important. All right, so let me share my screen here, guys. And so we can blow through this a little bit here. And this, I sent all this stuff to you guys too as well in the email, and also it's in the Facebook group. So you guys always, you know, like always, double back through this information on your free time. Just kind of read up on it, you know, thoroughly on your free time to kind of be on top of it a little bit more. So again, the more you peruse this stuff, the more it becomes like law to you, right? The same way we had, you know, we learned other different little, you know, new values of information, blocks of information. You know, the more you study it, the more it becomes law to you. The more you write your name down, you know, over and over and over and over and over and over and over, all right, the better you get good at your penmanship, right? And all these kind of things in terms of calligraphy and how you even swoop your J's. Not, it's the same thing with this information. Ain't nothing, you know, ain't nothing new under the sun at this point in the game. Just all about how you know what I'm saying, you respect the sun and value it and view it. So for us, it's the same thing. So we're gonna break down this complete guide to choosing an online broker, right? We're just kind of going over who have, you know, brokers and who don't. Again, we'll get there for you guys that have an issue with yours or whatever the case, so we can be on point. So again, so the complete guide to choosing an online stockbroker, right? We know online stockbrokers to be just basically being able to trade, you know, through a web browser or a phone. Ain't nothing crazy about it. Where we are today in terms of technology, we're in a very, very good position, right? Because again, we don't have to do anything besides going to the market, right? From, you know, through the values of our cell phone, laptop, computer, and not have to do all this kind of old school dialing in and all this stuff they had to do back in the old days. You know, just had to wait on the Sunday paper, the Wall Street Journal, all this kind of stuff before you can get a chance to even, you know, get information for the next prior day and to even trade. So we got everything now, you know, on the drop of a dime. So the Asian online brokers has made the world of high risk, high reward investing available to a broader public for better or worse, right? Profitable investment takes time, a lot of hard work, right? We're going through that in this workshop. It's all about that, putting in the time. You know, you guys sacrificing your time to even be here. Obviously, the same way with me. You know, I do this as, you know, like again, this is just a rite of passage for me, just sharing this with you guys. So I'm excited every day I get on and do these little workshops. So it also requires you use a broker service, right? That aligns with your investing goals, right? So there are different brokers that have certain goal values too, that they are, you know, that they, you know, will offer you. Same when you go to open up a bank account, right? You know, whether it be a money market account, be it, you know, just a basic, you know, savings account, you know, be the one that has a little bit more robust value in terms of, you know, the ability to buy stock options, all the different things, and mutuals and Roth IRAs, some that roll up, your 401ks, and just, there's certain aspects, basically what I'm saying, to certain brokerage accounts that has, some has advantage over others, and excuse me, a certain aspect. But for the most part, ain't nothing really complicated about it once you learn how to maneuver it. Same when you had to learn how to, play with your cell phone till you learn all the little special little, ins and outs about it. That's it. Once you get it, you got it, so to speak, right? And then anytime they do kind of special updates or adds up to it, then you'll be able to kind of go through it and figure it out too, right? So so educational needs and learning styles, which a lot of these brokers also have a lot of good educational material too, that they'll walk you through it, right? That's their job at this point. Since you bought it, excuse me, signed up for their brokerage platform and bought into what they have to offer you guys, right? All right. So especially for new investors, selecting the right online brokerage can mean the difference between exciting new income stream or short-lived struggle against disappointment, right? Followed by inevitable frustrated surrender, meaning, you get your little brokerage account, y'all excited, and, you're not necessarily taking the little back end time to kind of really figure it out to the point where you know what you're doing, from a solid perspective. And then you only just pushing buttons and you trade, and you really don't really have a grasp of what you're doing. And you might end up losing a little bit because, you're trying to figure it out at the same time. And you're supposed to just taking your time, learning it first. You jump right in there, full swing, right? And you lose, and you just get frustrated. Say, I don't want to do this. You blame it on the brokers. You blame it on obviously except everybody except yourself. Killed your little hoard, endeavor to even want to trade, right? Which is the worst thing you can do, right? Because you can walk away from all this money, right? This opportunity, because you didn't take the time to be on top of your game, right? That makes sense. So of course, while there's no surefire way to guarantee investment returns, there's a way to set yourself up for success by selecting the online brokerage that best suits your needs, right? So that's what it's all about, right? Again, we're gonna go through that. So in this guide, we'll break down all the things you should be looking for, in your ideal brokerage, for the obvious stuff like whether or not platform allows you to trade securities you're interested in, right? To not so obvious like how easy it is to get support from an actual human when you need it, right? We just went through that over Chris, right? Getting real actionable support, right? We talked about that with what? Obviously black businesses, right? Bad customer service, right? Bad support value, so to speak, some kind, right? We get a bad rep for that, right? We don't respect the value of attention to detail and how important it is to treat everybody, like the best person ever on the planet. Give them your undivided attention and give them your undivided best skill sets every day. Make them feel like they larger life. And that's how you keep your business up and running. That's how you keep the lights on, right? We got to learn how to surrender ego and get more into understanding about attention to detail, right? Being optimum at every aspect of our lives, right? So investing in trading somewhat is in the same boat, right? Lazy men, lazy people, you cannot make money in this market, by lucking your way through it. At some point, you got to put some skin in the game, some skill sets, basically, some due diligence, so to speak. So you can be on top of your game. And that's also surrounding yourself with the best platforms, right? Trading platform, scanners, right? Screener. You guys see me posting show my scanner, right? You see me open up a screen a couple times, right? In FinViz. So you guys gonna get all them same tools too. So if I'm using them, you're gonna have access to it too, just by me helping you usher you to the right ones, right? You can choose whatever you want, obviously, but again, my goal is to make sure that I'm there to kind of plug and play when you need me in terms of, that's what this whole value of a good mentoring about anyway, right? Shorts, kind of give you that shortcut value, even though it's still good information. It's not like you omitting anything. It's just that, hey, we're going to help you point you in the right direction right away. So you don't have to go through all the kind of, figuring it out and making mistakes here and there. I got you, right? I got you. Sorry. So contents basically. So you need what? Just basically the contents of this study guide, or this complete guide to choose an online broker. Just about know your needs, narrow the field, which type of ones you want to go with, figure out broker fees, right? Because fees matter, right? Same way Black Lives Matter. Well, fees matter too. You want to find the ones that have less commission fees and so forth on. And some of them have no fees, like Robinhood, you start trade, stuff like that, right? So because obviously those fees can add up, right? So it makes no sense. Like I spoke maybe like 2 sessions ago, you want to buy a stock that's trading at let's say $20, right? And you only got what 20, like $25 in your account, right? So you buy a stock that big and the commission fees like $4.95 or whatever the case, and you buy the stock and the stock let's say it goes up 3%, whatever the case. So you really ain't making a whole lot of money to pay out those commission fee. So you trying to ask yourself, was it really worth even taking that trade? right? It just makes no sense to buy stock that big in price, right? And then pay the commission fee, and then you don't make enough money to recoup that commission fee. All right, does that make sense, so to speak? So you want to make sure you, in that case, that's why it's good to have that Robinhood or that U stock trade account that has no commission fees. Right now, in the event the stock moves up, 10%, whatever the case like that, you make them little $2 off of it, whatever the case. Then them $2 that you made, that didn't cost you that. You see what I'm saying? And so that's awesome. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. That's extra, a little bit on the gas money, right? Get somebody a ride. Hey, what you got on this gas? I got $2, bro. Made it in the stock market this morning. Cost me that. So that's exciting. It may seem like a little bit, but that's still free money, right? And RS ain't gonna come after you for no $2 little, trust me. So get excited for that. So once again, test the broker's platform. I was being able to test it out, going through the paper trading aspect of it. Having the people walk you through it if you have to, and they'll do that. That's the great thing about the education value of some of these brokers. That's their job, to walk you through how to use it, set it up, right? How well does the stockbroker educate clients? Ease of just depositing and withdrawing funds, that matters, right? Especially for a lot of my crypto people, right? With a lot of these brokers first kind of open up, they was giving people, some value, some of them a little bit complicated in terms of being able to even learn how to withdraw money and go through the deposit and all that, because they were still trying to figure this stuff out in real time, because there was such an influx of people running the crypto all of a sudden, and some of these platforms just were not robust enough to kind of handle all that foot traffic, right? Coinbase, some of the others too, right? But they've gotten a lot better over time, and they kind of streamline them with all this new regulation coming on back. So again, you kind of protect, right? So customer service, again, going back to that one word, or that two word, always in one phrase, customer service, right? Cannot live without good customer service, period, right? My goal, even what I'm doing, is to give you the best customer service I can possibly give you, right? And if there's any moment I'm slacking on what I'm doing, please let me know, right? Because I do take it serious, right? So getting going and the next steps, right? So all these right here are things that you can click on, right? So that's why you have this link. So you can go through this yourself in your free time, because we don't have time really to break it down, click, because we're going to go with stuff over and over and over so much, then, at some point, it's like, okay, I get it. I got it. Get it, got it. Right. So again, on your free time, go through this little guide. It's a really good guide. As you guys always say, always go to Investopedia, because once again, this is kind of like the holy grail of investing, terminology and where to go to, know how and get information and stuff like that. I guess you could say Wikipedia, although Wikipedia kind of ratchet, but this here is actually more quantitative and more data driven in terms of really smart, intelligent people that put this together. They put all this investing knowledge in one little portal where you can come to and extract a lot of information. So if you ever find yourself kind of stumped and want to know something about the market in some aspect, come right over to Investopedia. Put that thing up there in that little search engine box, whatever, either be a stock ticker or whatever, and then go get at it. It's going to probably get all kinds of good information for you. All right. So as you can see, like I said, this right here just kind of break down overview of all the different things what it requires to go into the brokerage, right? And this, it gets a little complicated when you get down to the chart features, all the things that they offer within the broker. And again, when everybody kind of get their brokerage, scenario in play, we start figuring out who we're going to go to as far as our paper trading, which I'm going to, advocate that we all get a TD Ameritrade, right? So because I know it has a very, very, awesome, on-demand stock trading simulator, right? Paper trading value, right? And they give you up to 60 days free before you have to deposit money. I think it's 30 days or 60 days, if they hadn't changed it, that you get to use their paper trading platform before they force you to deposit money. So you don't have to deposit money right away when you open up a TD Ameritrade account. That's what's great about it. You can use it strictly for that paper trading aspect only, and they give you like 30 to 60 days free to just use it. And then they'll say, well, we need you to deposit some money into the account, And then at that point, you ain't got to just, flood it with all your capital. You put in $10, literally $10, and you're good to go. But that's how that works in that regard. So if that makes sense, you guys all, you'll get there. All right. So once again, just knowing your needs, you guys can, read this stuff. Once again, I don't want to go spend too much time breaking down the nuts and bolts. That's why you guys are going through this mentorship, because again, you're going to have to read this stuff. You have to really realize, make it make sense to you guys, right? Because this is a part of your due diligence, right? Obviously, I had to go through it too, right? But it pays off. It pays for itself over time. Trust me, right? Just knowing that you got thorough knowledge, right? Knowledge of self, knowledge of the apparatus or platform, so to speak, is just as great. So again, this is you trying to learn how to procure some capital, some supplemental income. So these are little things that you want to have in your war chest that you can relate to to get this information, right? So if that makes sense, guys, let me know. All right. So again, let's move through it a little bit. So again, just knowing your needs, what type of investor you might want to be. They're going to ask you some basic questions like, what type of investor you are. Some of you guys already went through this when you did open up your Robert account. So it ain't new to you. So that's why I asked you guys if there's anybody that's in the panel on the back chat that hasn't opened up an account yet at some value. It'd be a Stash, Robinhood, any kind of brokerage account at all, let me know. Because these are some of the general questions they're going to ask you. Right. And again, so if you need me, I'll walk you through it, or I do a three-way call with you, a three-way call with you while you on the phone with the broker. Or if you filling out online, right, and going through the steps online, you can hit me up on the phone and I'll just walk you through it. Either way, that's what I'm here for, right? To help you with that portion of it too. So again, they just want to get some background in terms of your trading history, basically. Whether you new, novice, intermediary, what type of trade you want to do, be an options market. Having that ability to even trade the option market. You want to figure out, what you know about the market thus far to kind of, test that value in the market. And so again, I'm gonna bring on special guests that's gonna talk about the options market. So you guys can get a gauntlet of all that. Forex market, you're gonna get a gauntlet of the options market, you're gonna get a gauntlet of the crypto market, etc. Like I said, I got special guests lined up, and obviously it's all in due time, right? That's why I'm doing this stuff very meticulous, because I don't want to just bring in all this knowledge and y'all ain't got no brokerage account yet. We're going through the natural progressive steps to get to that next level, right? So then when they come on and speak, you have some, maybe some basic fundamental understanding, but again, you'll be a little bit more equipped and a little bit more ready to hear that portion of understanding while you here for this intro to investing workshop, right? So it's not putting the cart before the horse. We're gonna do this thing right. Again, that's why I hammered through psychology and a lot of the technical stuff in that first month, because I know how important that is. Psychology is everything. Also due diligence too. Those two are married. You're married to the game. You got solid technical analysis, right, and due diligence, and a solid psychology, right? That's in anything in life. Good psychology and a good due diligence, value and how you go about getting information, you solid, right? So just keep that in mind. So again, they just once again ask you those goals, those questions to find out about your goals, narrowing the field down, stockbroker regulations and trust. Obviously, got all these different things. We know about the FINRA, we know about SIPC in terms of bank stuff. And then one thing I love about once again, stockbrokers, right? Unlike if you kind of go and trying to open up a bank account, right? They don't really turn you down. It's hard to get turned away from a brokerage account, really. Even though some of these banks will have, offer trading platforms as well. But, that same bank that you try to go in there and open up, a banking account with, they might deny you all kind of ways. But you go in there and say, hey, I just want to open up a brokerage account, right? You just got to get some basic stuff and you in there, right? So they don't, once again, they ask for your kidneys. They don't care about you. Once again, your felonies, they don't care about you. Baby daddies and baby mamas, all that stuff matters. They can't discriminate against you. That's why I love that value of the SEC actually over the FDIC value in terms of how they go about doing a little so-called screening process. So get excited about that. So they can't stop, Ray in the hood. They can't stop, whomever, right? Hey, that's why I do that value when I was doing them online workshops on the hood, so-called quote unquote, or just on the stop, roll up on some black folk and drop some not. This is why it's important that we learn this. There's other ways around it. So you make more money going through the stock market, learn how to trade than you would get from any kind of interest value from even put your money over ragging behind racist banks. Let that marinate, right? And they can't, once again, firewall you and stuff like that. So again, you guys can read through this stuff. That's why you have it. In that free time, go through this stuff, right? And then you come to me with your questions. I told you guys, definitely open door policy. Obviously, y'all know I've been messed up last week, but open door policy, come to me. That's what I'm here for. That's what this mentoring is about. You got questions, come to me, right? So if you see anything in here that may seem a little odd to you, a little weird, come to me. I'll break it down, right? But to the best of my knowledge. And if I can't answer, I'll put you in contact with somebody that can knock it out for you. No problem. So once again, figure out, the stockbroker fees. Once again, we spoke about that. Most of the fees are $4.95, $60. It was a lot higher, but since they having to compete with all these new brokerages, robust in their platform, they had to lower a lot of their fees, right? TD Ameritrade is so-called one of the best platforms out there, period, bar none. They had the highest fees for a reason. Same way how Verizon Wireless had some kind of best phone service. And that's why they're able to charge these high prices for phone bills, because they got the best product. That's just how it is sometimes. But now they're having to compete, right? And people making more money with lesser platform, and they don't need all the so-called extra little gaudy type little platforms now. So they had to lower their fees to make sure they can even still compete. So by process of competition, they had to lower their fees. So get excited about that. Meaning your demand value for these different values of being able to trade, they want to take be the one to facilitate your their service. So they're going to compete to win your membership basically, right? Which obviously costs you no money, until you actually fund it with money and then start trading. So they make their money through what? Broker fees, right? Being the middleman to transact your trade basically. That's all it is. That's all they are, the middleman, right? So in some cases you can go around the middleman and you have to get a little man, the middleman, a little so-called little tithing money. Then you get that Robinhood, or you get that you stock trade where it has no commission fees, right? So that's why that makes sense. Now, it makes sense for us, especially if you just learn how to trade, where you don't have to worry about paying all these fees in and out. You can save more of your capital to learn how to trade and invest with. So get excited about that. All right. So again, that's just some of the stuff, breaking it down, the different tiers of commission values, and in terms of how much, if you at a certain threshold in terms of the money that you have, the kind of fees that they're going to offer you, and the stuff like that, what it costs and all this stuff. We can break all that stuff down for some of you guys that don't know it. Come to me personally, right? And we'll get this stuff knocked out for you guys, right? But for the sake of the bill for tonight, this is just good overview information. If you need me to go in depth, I will, though, by all intents and purposes. But we got a good little amount of information to cover here. All right, and I don't want to bore you guys because y'all know how it is with attention deficit value. Right? People get bored, but you should want this information. You should want this opportunity. You should want to keep up, basically what I'm saying. So attention to detail, right? But I do not want to bore you guys because I know this is a lot of information, right? It is a lot, but you will get it. I'm just going through this stuff, paraphrasing stuff that I know that you can benefit from right away. The short stream, you have to go through all this line for line, which you should do that anyway in your free time. But for now, when in class setting, right? We want to break this stuff down, go through the basic, the more important, pertinent things, and just move on. And then we can come back and retest some of this other stuff. All right. So paper trading, that's what the whole thing about testing brokers platform. That's why we need to get those paper trading accounts set up for you guys. Figure out which ones we're gonna go with. Obviously, I'm gonna vote for TD Ameritrade because I know they have a very good one, right? So we can kind of keep up, line for line, trade for trade with one another. All right. So that's just, once again, this is just kind of going over some of the stuff that in terms of the features with the trading platform of the brokers, right? Certain one, some of them offer different little indicators than the others do, right? So you guys see me, pull up, let's see, like my trade ideas, right? This is a paid service trading platform that I use, right? And they're somewhat expensive, but they're worth it in terms of what it gives you in terms of being able to chart stocks and stuff like that. Has an online active social commentary section in there too, so you can interact with other traders. Has some of the, pretty much every indicator out there. Some of them that you actually have to pay for. Right? It's people that actually, same way people make an app for the phone and they charge you guys to be able to take advantage of their app. People out here making algorithm, writing code for certain indicators to help you trade better. And then you have to sign up or subscribe to it, pay for it. Imagine that. Right? So there's money to be made at all aspects of these things that we use in terms of technology to make our lives a bit more pliable and easier, right? So that's important. But some of the basic ones you have to pay for to learn how to read them, you're good to go, right? That's why we're going over charts and patterns and indicators and oscillators and all that too. So again, just looking at this chart here, I got just 2 lines up on this one here particularly. There's others I use too, but there's just the VWAP. You guys always hear me talking about the VWAP, right? That's pretty much, if you want to look at it, come up like an indicator, so to speak, or in some cases like an oscillator too. It's a volume weighted average price value in terms of where a stock should be trading at, due to the momentum of the volume that's coming in for that day, due to the value of its previous chart history, right? Things of that nature to kind of give you a weighted average, mean price, so to speak, or medium price that it should be trading at. And anytime your stock is trading at the VWAP line, right, hovering it or a little bit above it, that means you in the goodness of a good trade. Anytime it falls below VWAP, that means you're in trouble, especially if you're not short selling. If you're going long and you'll start falling underneath that VWAP line, that purple violet line right here, excuse me, that means you're in trouble. So again, we're gonna learn to be able to kind of witness that and realize, when it's a good time to sell and when it's a good time to buy, right? As we know, buy low, sell high, right? Buy low, sell high, right? If we short sell it, we buy the top and we short it down to the low, right? So again, that's gonna come a lot later though. We not do no short selling until a lot later in your guys' career, It took me well over a year before you actually start short selling because it can be very dangerous and blow your accounts up if you don't know what you're doing. But you can make a lot of money once you know how to do it. Because you saw me, some of my trades today, I was short selling some of them stocks, and they were just dripping really fast, and a lot of money was being kind of compiled in that moment. So again, but outside of that, I have the EMA, was the exponential moving average. That's another little indicator that you know where stocks should be trading at from a 20-day average. They got something for 4 days, 8 days, 9-day average, a 20-day average, a 50-day moving average, or a 200 moving day average, or 100-day moving average. And all it is just giving you like an understanding of where a stock should be trading at from a 100-day perspective in terms of its weighted valuing all the particular earnings and different news catalysts that's coming out with the stock, and it's giving you an idea that the stock should be trading at this level, pretty much at this multiple at this point in time, if that makes sense. So if you're using that as an indicator value, and every time that stock is above that 20-day exponential moving average, then that means that the stock is actually bullish, right? So in the 20-day times period, if it's above it, that means it's a bullish trade. So as you see in this one particular trade here, RKDA, which was a super phenomenal trade that happened over the last couple of days. If some of you guys that caught it, might have saw, the action in this stock jumped up and ran from like $11 and went all the way up to like $56. Actually went higher, that went up to like 64 when it's all said and done in a matter of 2 days. Let that marinate. This is why we invest. So that means you picked up, literally, let's say from $8, and when it really get cracking like 2.5 days, 3 days, all the way up to like 63, 64 bucks. So that means you gain, well over $56, somewhere around there, 50, 55, 56 bucks, 54 bucks, a share. A share. One share, you earn $54, $53 in one share. You bought the stock at the $8 mark. Actually, I bought in at the $8 mark too, sold into the 11s, and then I bought in again at $21.30 and wrote it all the way up to like 43 bucks. So I picked up an additional, $23 a share. So imagine that. So if you bought 3 or 4 shares of this, even down at the $8 level, you just held it, for the value of the news, because they had some news that came out. They had a wheat germ, significant breakthrough in terms of their little so-called agriculture. This is agricultural pharmaceutical type company, right? They actually deal in commodities, biopharmaceutical commodities, same way people got like the hemp market or marijuana industry. This company actually deals with synthetic, and that's why I don't like it for the value, because it's like pretty much GMO wheat. They're making GMO wheat, excuse me, to sell to your children, right? And you already kind of heard my little story about my little guy, right? So from that aspect, I don't rock with them. But again, I'm an opportunist, right? So I am an investor. I'm looking for opportunities. If the stock moving, I'm there. So they unveiled that their little GMO wheat breakthrough, and it caused news to come into the stock. So the stock just jumped up and went, bonkers. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. See right here, the stock jumped up and ran literally at the $11 mark. This was just yesterday. It went from $11.28. If you guys can see this on my screen, if you can't, let me know. I'll expand it. But it went from $11 all the way up to $54 in 1 day. That means, if you caught that news pre-market, obviously when it opened up, it didn't open up at 11, it opened up around 18, right? As you see right here. But from pre-market, you was able to get in early pre-market, or right before the bell closed the following day, whatever, and catch that $11 mark, right? And you stayed into the stock, right? And when the news dropped, it started spiking up, right? Start gapping up, start open up, and just skyrocket to the upside. So if you bought in right at like $18 and some change, instantly within the next, let's say from 9:30 to 11:20, right? So we talk about maybe less than 2 hours. The stock was already up to like $49. Excuse me, $45. So at 2 hours, or less than 2 hours in the market, you picked up what, like 23, 26 bucks or around there. My math might be off, but y'all get what I'm saying. Dang near $26 in a share in a matter of 2 hours in trading. Let that marinate. Let's say, Sister Erica, she said, I'm on trade this stock here. I saw they had news this morning. It's looking good. A lot of people talking about it. So it has some good investor sentiment chatter going on with it. And here's a good opportunity for me to buy it, right? So, I want to take this trade here, right? Because I think it's going, that's good news. And I think it's going to spike up in the morning. The market already kind of showing some favorability that, stocks may run because, the Dow opened up pretty well. Wasn't necessarily overly beat up. So, I think some investors are very hungry, right? She takes this trade at let's say Sister bought in at 1870, right? 1860, right? Somewhere around here, right? And again, she don't have all that to be in the market because she got stuff going on. She might have a hair appointment at 12, right? So she just want to be in the market early and get out, right? Because she got stuff to do. Right? Sister got something to do, right? She takes that trade, sit in it because the value of the indicators here and the candles here, these patterns and chart values here are indicating to her that this is going to be a favorable trade because the stock didn't do what? It didn't open up and tank on her. It opened up and started doing what? Spiking up, right? From the looks of these different candles here, especially anytime you have a big, bullish looking candle like this with a big engulfing body where it's just completely green, a lot of buying, in that whole particular candle, that shows a lot of people excited about that trade or about that stock that day, right? And then throughout this whole trade, if you see here, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, three good, bullish green candles, and then right after that you have what they call a doji, right? Dojis are pretty much buy signals or a bear signal, depends on where it falls into the trade in that certain moment. But we all know that there's certain aspects of a stock when it jumps or run very high, it has to have what they call a cool down period or a pullback scenario. So in that moment, you don't panic, right? You say it's just a micro pullback, it's a pullback scenario. That means the stock has to breathe a little bit, it has to come up for air, take a deep breath, and then it's gonna do what? Go a little bit higher, go a little bit deeper, so to speak. Right? In our case, go a little bit higher, right? So again, it had a little micro pullback here, right? At my normal time. So some of you guys know my strategy, right? For somebody that's been listening to me a little bit already, always wait for what? The 950 pullback. 950 pullback, 950 profit taking is the most ideal time when people take money off the table, right? And it works like clockwork if you learn how to do it properly. I coined this little strategy, and I have a lot of people that's been trading years and years ahead of me. They actually starting to use my little strategy now, right? So I actually feel good about my little scenario. I was able to kind of ID this when the people that's been trading a lot longer than me never thought about seeing the market from this perspective. And once again, I came into the market as a person that has a marketing background, business aspect, entrepreneur, and how I gauge the market from a psychological aspect. I put my business sense to it, right? So like a retail shopper, when are more people buying products, right? Holidays, weekends, these are moments when stores are capitalizing off people that's buying their products. So that's when they got most of their advertising campaigns going on during that time, right? Same with the stock market. People are more excited about buying stocks, but right when the market opens up, that's when all the volume of the pretty much of the market comes in at right when you open the gates, like a floodgates, like a Black Friday sale. So that's when your most volatile time of trading is going to be as soon as the market open up. So, but in that moment, it has to have a cool down period or a profit taking moment. Some people gonna start taking their money off the table. Some people gonna buy their product quick and leave up out of the store, right? Because they don't want to deal with all the other people that gonna come in after them and bombard them and make this shopping experience a mess. So guess what happens? You have a little pullback, profit taking. Like, so people that bought in here, they started taking profit way up here at 22. So if you bought in at 1860, some people looking for this $2 a share. They got their little $2 share and they was out. They didn't care about what was going to happen afterwards. If they left some shares in there, they took a partial of the shares, not all of them. All they know is at that point, I don't have all that to be in the market. I got to get in, I got to get out. So from 9:30 to 9:50, literally 20 minutes, right? They then picked up $2 a share. They might have bought, 10 shares, 30 shares, 50 shares, 100 shares. You can do the math, 100 shares, $2 a share. Then they made a quick little $200 and they done. So in 20 minutes, they made $200 in 20 minutes and they out. Let that marinate. 20 minutes, you in, you out the market. You didn't pick up your quick little $200 and you on your way for your day, right? So again, that's what I love about the market. It's the opportunity just always surrounded. So again, right when you had this bearish engulfing candle here, that was just a pullback. So it kind of reached the same level it was when it spiked up and hit this new high, right? It matched that same high value from that doji. So all that was an indication that guess what? It didn't pull back lower than the highs from the value from the last green candle here. That means it was still in play. And then reverse and come hard down. It stayed, it collected, pulled back, took a breath there, took a breath of fresh air, and went right back up. So again, all the way up to $46 in less than 2 hours. You in and you out, you know what I'm saying? So you can do the math from that. You roll it in the dough, right? So I did really good on this trade, right? So again, I'm just showing you the different aspects and understanding why we do this. So when you talk about patterns, you talk about charts, right? You're saying, what's about, this chart pattern here that shows that it's very bullish trade, or that it will be bullish, right? Number one, we're just talking about some of the indicators, right? And oscillators, right? So right here is that VWAP line. Remember, I was just talking about the VWAP line, meaning anytime a stock is above that VWAP line or it's hugging that VWAP line, meaning it's right on in conjunction with that VWAP line, that means your trade is very bullish. That means you're in a good favorable trade at that moment. It's not breaking down. There's enough volume to sustain it at this price point. And at that point, if the buy-in keeps coming in, that means the stock will end up doing what? Going higher. So it crossed over VWAP here, right? See right here, it was below VWAP here. It had a convergence here, right? It crossed over VWAP when the news dropped. The stock just went bananas, as they call it, a parabolic move. It crossed over VWAP and it didn't look back. So this stock haven't looked back yet. Look at it, it's still above VWAP all throughout the whole day. Matter of fact, when it exceeded the VWAP and shot a lot higher from the gap up from the VWAP line, that means the trade was extra bullish. So in that moment, if you bought it at the VWAP line or underneath that, would you get out this trade knowing that the stock is above the VWAP line at this point? So that's a question I posed to you guys. After seeing that, would you have gotten out this trade at any point? After you saw that trade, that stock jump up and gap up that high above that VWAP line, knowing that the stock was still going to be in play. Would you have gotten out? I'm going to ask you guys in the back chat. So if you would have got out that trade, once it crossed over, once again, you might have had a gold mine anyway, in terms of gold mine you want to hit in terms of profit value, but would you have gotten out that trade at that point? So press a 1. If you would have took your profit, would you gotten out that trade? Press 1 if you would have got out the trade. Press 2 if you would have stayed in. Let me see what you guys hear is at. Once again, we're talking about patterns. We talk about understanding, when when not to, what makes sense to us in terms of if we should stay in the trade, if we should exit the trade, did we hit our goal already? Excuse me. Or should I just kind of ride it out, see what's going to come from it. So Kiana said she would have stayed in the trade, right? That over David said he would have stayed in the trade, right? And you're gonna figure out why, learn why as we go through this, because that's what it's all about. Understanding why these indicators and these oscillators and these different things are there to be used in your favor. They're like cheat codes, cheat sheets, cheat little parameters, right? So again, the same way, if you're showing up to a gunfight with a knife, right? That's not a good, good odds in your favor, right? But you find out that somebody that, a gun dealer, whatever the case, and you go get your weapon because you're coming to a gunfight, you got to show up with your right tools, basically, right? So again, this is why this is important. All right. So Brother Gordon, he said, leave house money, right? Right. So there's a lot of house money out there, right? You can take advantage of that in that moment in that trade. So going back to that chart, let's go back to that chart. Excuse me. All right, my little voice, a little crackle here. So in that moment, once it gaps below that VWAP line, was that volume weighted average price value, or right? However you want to break it down, you can always go Google that, what that means. VWAP, actually, I posted before. You'll see at that point that becomes like the gun line. Y'all always hear me talk about the VWAP line, right? Because a lot of people use that VWAP line as the litmus test. You can short from it, or you can take a stock loan from it, right? In that moment, it's just basically giving you the understanding that, hey, here's a good safe zone, so to speak, for you to be in terms of this trade. So look at it that way. It's like a safety net or a safe zone. So if it's hovering VWAP and it breaks out above VWAP, that means the stock is bullish, right? That means it's very aggressive and it's moving upwardly, right? And the more and the higher it pulls away from the VWAP line, like you see right here, the separation here from this VWAP line, the more aggressively bullish that stock becomes. Making there's a lot of buying going on, right? And if you look down here at the very bottom here, that's why I love the RSI, and we're gonna break that down too. And this is what we consider to be like an oscillator, right? So in this moment, this oscillator here is telling me that the stock is being it's a little bit overbought, right? Anything you buy in terms of you buying a stock and you're using the RSI as a good way to kind of understand when the stock is overbought and oversold, because that matters, right? That means it's kind of the point where it's kind of buying up all the particular shares that it has available to be sold within this float value, right? In terms of 100 shares it has available to even be bought. That's what the float value is. Then in that moment, you even know how to gauge the RSI to know when to sell your stock. So if you look right here, Pre-market gaps up. RSI is already at screaming. It's already above 60 right now. The standard for RSI is 30 and 70. 30 on the bottom, 70 at the top. Anything above 70 is what they consider to be overbought scenario, right? But some of that stuff doesn't matter when the stock is just what aggressively being bought. If a lot of people are excited about the stock, it doesn't matter if it's at 70 or it's at 80. It's just a lot of what volume coming in, and people just what they just buy like a feeding frenzy, so to speak. And you always want to be in a trade where you can get a scenario like that. Ain't no better feeling than being in a stock that's having a feeding frenzy and everybody just buying it up like it's just going out of style, right? Like a Black Friday. I hate to use that terminology because we know that's very derogatory in terms of what they did to our ancestors. But y'all get my point. It's just the mentality that comes along with buying something, you know, that everybody's have a frenzy about wanting to buy it. So in that moment, the stock is screaming to the upside, right? So you go up on the RSI, you watch the RSI in relation to the candles on the chart, right? So right here, when you had your pullback, you see right here at the top of this RSI right here, it did what? It pulled back, right? So if you bought in here, once again, Erica don't have all day to be in the market. She just needed she looking for her little 3% rule out the day, right? Or 2% rule out the day, right? So from 18 to 20, she already hit her little goal, right? She already didn't hit her goal that fast, right? So that moment she said, I'm going to sell here because guess what? An indication that the stock was getting ready to pull back when she started seeing the RSI right here start peeling back over like it's going to come down. So she said, you know, I'm not going to wait around this and lose all my profit at this point. I'm going to sell right here because this oscillator is telling me that the stock is getting ready to pull back and sell off, right? Because it's not going back up. So instantly what happens is she takes her profit there, the stock pulls back. Not like it's, it's like it's going, the stock is done for the day. It just had it has what they call a breathing moment, a retesting moment, so to speak, right? Collect this up before it goes back higher to the next leg. So right after it did that, it went up, spiked up a little bit, pulled back, had another little spike up, red candle, pull back again. It presented a new high of day after the second red candle, right? And onto this third little green candle right here, and after that, it was lights out to the upside, blazing to the upside. Had a little pullback here, no big deal. You didn't panic here because you were still above the VWAP line. It shot right back on up there and hit a new high day, right? Up there at $47, right? So again, 2 hours in the market, you good to go. If you look at the RSI right, you start seeing it start cooling off a little bit here, right? It start having that down crest. That means guess what? It's getting ready to pull back a little bit, right? It has to calm down, cool off a little bit. It's just screaming it's like an equalizer when it's kind of peeled all the way to the right. And it have no kind of signs of coming back to the middle. That's pretty much how these stocks move when they jump up and running like this here, when a feeding frenzy happens. So in that moment, if you look at the EMA here, this red line, this 20-day moving average, right? Obviously, it's got above the 20-day moving average, and it stayed above that too, the same way. So guess what? This becomes a new litmus test to you to find out when to get out of the trade as well. If you didn't take it at the top up here, right? So instantly when it came down to touch that exponential moving average, that was a signal that you need to you can sell right here, right? Or meaning if it don't break down underneath that, go lower, right? You can kind of reassess yourself if you want to stay in this trade, right? If you took the profit up here and you waited for another opportunity to buy back in, you say, okay, well, let me see if it comes down below that 20-day moving average on this indicator here, right? But if it did not do that, or if it did do that and it broke down underneath that, and you come down here and kind of retest the bottom here and bounced off that, or it stayed above the VWAP line, you say I'm gonna buy back in somewhere around this area right here, right? Anywhere around this area here that you bought into, let's say between $36 to $34, we're still in a safe zone. Even though it's like $2 of profit, and it's scared to somebody got a lot of shares, but you're not worried because guess what? The stock's still above the VWAP line, right? So eventually, what happens is new volume came back in the stock, and guess what? The stock shot up and went higher. Right? Not only did it eclipse the old high, it went past it. Right? Went up there, made a new high, went up to $54 now. So from 46, 47 up to 54 in that little bit of time. Again, you're talking about 11:30. Let's give it till to 3 o'clock, 3:05. So basically, roughly about 2 hours and a little change, you picked up a new high that fast. So get excited, So again, that's why I get excited about this opportunity. So all you're seeing here, when you look at this chart from a very basic understanding, because again, we're gonna go over this stuff a lot. I know some of this stuff may seem like rocket science, but he talk about they don't man, I don't know what that brother even talking about. All I see is a lot of green candles and a couple of little squiggly lines up there. But again, this stuff is going to make sense to you guys over time. It's about learning it, going over it over and over and over and over until it becomes like a law to you, right? So in this moment, all you need to know at this point from a very basic understanding is that this stock was very bullish and aggressive because everything in terms of its indicators, in terms of its candle values, in terms of its oscillators, told you or showed you that this was going to be an aggressive trade. And obviously, in terms of understanding, the catalyst or the news that kind of jump started this stock to move a little bit, and then from there it was just lights out. In terms of the upward momentum that came in with this asset here. So again, it's just all about understanding what you're watching. So you watch right here, these little spike, little values here. These are what they call this is the volume. All right, somebody speaking. Oh, sorry. So this is your volume bars. So all this right here is telling you what, when it's green, that means a lot of buying going on. When it's red, that means what, some selling going on. If you look at this chart right here from a daily perspective, wouldn't you say that it had a lot more bigger green spikes than it did red spikes? So that means there's a lot of buying as opposed to a lot of selling. So that's another indication, right? So if you're watching the crest of this volume spike here, you have what? A big spike early in the morning. Started off the day, super excited. That means a lot of buyers were coming in. Right after that, you saw the volume kind of decrease a little bit, but that means it was still what? It's still bullish because at this point, its average value in the volume kind of hit a crest around right this area right here. Right? That means anything from this point on within that level, that above that level was what? A very aggressive amount of buying going on. Right? In terms of a lot of volume coming into the stock, right? They're buying shares. In that little dip moment here, when you see this crest right here, in this little cup, they call cup shape here, is when you had that kind of sell-off aspect. And in that moment, if you're able to ID this, right, from a trader perspective, see that it's starting to kind of decrease in volume, that means in the time you bought in way down here, that means there might be a time to sell. Because it's telling you at this point the volume is decreasing. That means buyers are leaving the store. It's the moment to go ahead and I'm gonna take a little profit because the volume is drying up. So you see how all this stuff works in tandem, guys. Once you understand how to really ID this chart and really make it make sense and dumb it down, you start seeing here why this stuff is the pattern or the value of what you're watching here is telling you in so many ways that the stock is either aggressively being bought or aggressively starting to sell off a little bit. So the RSI did the same thing. See how all of it is in tandem. The candles, the volume, and the RSI, all of them made that little U shape right here, which they call like a cup and handle pattern. All right, that's basically what this is, a cup and handle pattern. And I sent you guys the pattern chart in the back chat. I also put it in the Facebook group. Excuse me. I sent it to you guys an email. So if you go to your pattern chart, right? So let's run over to the pattern chart real fast, real quick, right? Let me see where it's at. Where did I open it up at? Excuse me. Matter of fact, let me just run over to the I can run over to the Facebook group because I know I dumped it in there really quick. All right, so if you look at this pattern chart here, let me see where we have a cup and handle pattern on here. All right, inverse. This one here doesn't have the cup and handle pattern. All right, and I got other ones out there to show you because I sent you guys the book, excuse me, those PDF books that have them in there, so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a cup and handle pattern. Right, so that's pretty much just showing you just a cup with a handle before it breaks out. That means it's a very bullish pattern in that moment, right? So it just shows you, if you just looked at this pattern here, or excuse me, this chart here, you'll see that the one thing about this particular pattern here also, or in that trade, is that it's a rising wedge, right? What happened as soon as the stock opened up? As soon as the stock opened up, it spiked up. It pulled back, went a little higher, pulled back, went up a little bit, pulled back, and just kept going higher. So it showed at that moment that it was a very what they call aggressive buying scenario going on at that point. So it presented more like a rising wedge, right? So that was very interesting when we watched that stock in that moment kind of jump up and make that move like that. So if you look at the stock here, you see the same thing. It jumped up red high, it pulled back a little bit, went up a little bit, pulled out, even though it wasn't 100% the same way. But if you're watching, from that perspective of that pattern, you see that there's some similarities a little bit in that understanding of what you're seeing there in terms of that trade, right? So again, there's just some of the things why you would kind of pay attention to some of these patterns here and how it makes sense. And you have to break it down a particular one trade for the next, and let you know if it's a bullish sentiment or if it's a bearish sentiment, right? So if that makes sense to you guys a little bit, I know it's a lot of information. We're going over a lot of different things, whatever. But, again, we're going to go over this stuff over and over and over. So it's important that once again, we get these little simulating trading platforms like your TD Ameritrade, even your Robinhood. So when we start doing this stuff, and everybody got their screen open at the same time, then we can, we can really, really make it make sense. As opposed to me kind of flipping, back and forth, kind of back from the chart to you guys to figure out, what's going on. But, that's why it's important for us to get these little trading platforms at this stage in the workshop, so you guys can follow along and see exactly what I'm talking about. So you can put, a plan to paper, so to speak, or to action. You can see exactly what's happening, right? And basically all you're seeing in that whole moment here, you just see a lot of money being made. That's all you're seeing right here. All this is just money, 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 money. Even going down a little bit here. So people took the top end, probably shorted here. They scalped it for a scalp short, right? They scalped it from like 47 bucks, 49, or 48 bucks, and they scalped it down, 47 bucks, and they scalped it all the way down to like what, 34. So they made, roughly about $11, $12 a share short going down, right? When bulls make money going up. So guess what? You can make money going up and you can make money coming down. Bulls make money, bears make money, pigs get slaughtered. I mean, if you just sat in the stock, just, and just whatever, which you can if you're a long-term investor, but at the end of the day, if you trade it from a day trade perspective, then you want to capitalize on what? The top, and then off the bottom, right? In terms of however you trade it. So he shorted it back down, right? She shorted it back down, and guess what? You turn around, what? You see that there was a buy signal starting to happen. You had a channel break right here. You see right here on my indicator here, my oscillator here, that right there was called a channel break. So that's one of my cheat sheets, codes that I have in my trade on my screen. That lets me know that what is a channel breakout, right? That you had a big, large momentum spike, after sold off a little bit, that more volume was coming back into the trade. That instantly tells me at this moment, and that candle right here, that guess what? This stock was going to turn bullish again. So I could have bought in again right here. That was my indicator. It's telling me, hey, you want to buy in here? Afurakan Emporium, this thing looking real good again. I bought in right here at 36 bucks, right? 36.19, 36.20. It instantly starts what? Sturdy to the upside. We already above, once again, the 20-day moving average here. So that crossover right here. That's why you have that channel breakout, because it's telling you at this point it breached over the what? 20-day moving average. And then the meaning of the stock became very what? Bullish again. So in that moment, I take the trade again. I'm scalping to the upside. And as long as it's above this 20-day moving average here, this red line here, that means I stay in the trade. I stay in the trade and I pick up additional what? So from 36 bucks here, 37, 36 bucks here in this counter here, 36 bucks, all the way up to the top here, right? Until I start seeing what? Consecutive what? Red candles back to back, which you see here, you have a little pullback here. It wasn't necessarily nothing major, because guess what? It still didn't pull back lower than what you bought in at. So at the moment, you still stay in the trade, right? Right after you had a big bullish engulfing green candle, push you right back up higher, right? A little pullback, no big deal. You don't panic, right? Because you still what? In way down here. You just have trying to get as much as you can out of it, right? So guess what? It jumps up and runs a little higher, because all these candles here are telling you that what? It's still a very bullish trade. Because guess what's happening here? Look down here at the bottom, guys. What's happening here? The volume is coming back in the same way it did early in the morning. The volume is coming back in. These volume bars here is telling me what? Hey, it's on now. It's on and popping. I mean, the concert is going live now. People come showing up, right? You had your house party. You're in high school, right? And you put out a million flyers, and then people just start showing up, right? Oh, it's on. Now it's going to be on. Same way with this trade here. The volume start coming back in. It just start what? Squeezing and pushing the stock what? Higher. So in that moment, you took it all the way up here from 36 bucks to like what? 54 bucks. You picked up additional quick little what? $8, $7, $8 a share and profit, right? In a matter of, let's say what? Let's see right here. It was like 13.55. So you talk about what? 155 here. So 155 to right here, which is 3 o'clock, so 3:05. So basically, about an hour and 15 minutes, you picked up $7 a share. So imagine you bought, let's say 100 shares. So you bought 100 shares at 36 bucks. Right. So that cost you like $3,600. Right. And so within an hour and 15 minutes, you picked up $7 of a share. So $7 times $100, excuse me, 100 shares is what? 700 bucks. So you made $700 in a matter of an hour and 15 minutes because you use what? The pattern here, right? That kind of U-shaped pattern here, that cup handle here, that breakout pattern here. You use the indicators here, this exponential moving average here, pretty much this kind of litmus, another value of a litmus test to show you that at this point, if any stock breaches over that, that means the stock becomes what? Bullish again. That means it comes into play again. Everything at this point still told you that the VWAP was what? Still safe zone. That means anything at this point above that was a what? A buy signal too, right? So you just use all this to your advantage. You saw the volume coming back in down in the volume bars, and to let you know, game on. Game on. You saw the RSI come down here and cool off a little bit, like midways around like 40 something on the RSI, right? Right. We always use like 50, like between 30 and 70 and 50 is kind of like in the middle, right? It's cool. It's hovering at a good spot before it takes off. So instantly you had a volume surge, and the RSI start what? Climbing to the upside. So again, all these things working in tandem to give you what? The best optimum opportunity to kind of what? Realize what's happening in this trade, whether you want to take it or you shouldn't, right? Depends on which side of the trade you're going on. So again, all these are just cheat codes, cheat mechanisms, cheat little apertures, so to speak, to give you the opportunity to what? To trade the market. You're not trading the market blind. You got all these things that you can use. And these are just some of the basic ones. They got so many different ones out there, but from a basic standpoint, kind of open up the chart, making it very clean for you guys. We're gonna go over some more complex ones in due time. You can see right here that this was just what? A beautiful trade. No, not a whole lot of resistance in this whole trade all day long. Once again, a lot of big money was made yesterday. A lot of big money was made yesterday. Trust me. I mean, like I said, I did okay in terms of my little value, and I know other traders that literally crushed this stock. I'm talking like 5 digits. Like mid 5 digits. 40,000. Some people made 20,000 yesterday. I know some people that made. I think the most one guy, I know people probably making more, but this guy, people I know personally, he was like 44,000, somewhere around there in this one trade, taking a leveraged position here, buying in on their news and riding it up. Took a little partial, left a little bit in there, came down, right? Bought some more here at this point, rolled it back up a little higher. You're talking like $47,000 in a matter of one trade in one day. That's somebody's annual salary. These guys, got the ability to make this money in a day. You guys seen some of my trades. You're making this kind of money in one day. So again, this ain't rocket science. It's opportunity, right? So that's why we're here. That's why you guys are here. You're here to learn this to the best of your ability so you can use it to your advantage. You're 100% right, but Erica. That's a quick little $700. I know I'm a little behind. I just came on the screen here, but you can make $700, in a matter of an hour and 15 minutes on your time, literally meaning under your own auspices, no one standing over your back, or whatever the case like that. Come on, guys. What's not to love about this opportunity? That's why you're here. Whether you use it or you don't, you still going to get best of this knowledge to your advantage, right? So again, if this making sense to you guys thus far, if it's making sense to you guys thus far, press 1 in the back chat for those that can. I know it's late again. Press 1 in the back chat if it's making sense to you guys thus far. In terms of how I'm kind of breaking it down, I know my voice all over the place right now, but again, if it's making sense to you guys right now, press 1 in the back chat. In terms of what you understand. If you don't understand, that's fine. We're gonna keep going over and over and over. But again, from a very basic aspect of me making it, dumbing it down, press 1 if it's making sense. And if it don't press 1. Again, I want you to be thorough, and again, you ask questions too, because that's what this is all about, right? So some of you guys that's on the panel, if you want to get on the panel, you can interact with me too right now during the session. So you if you got questions here, let me know, and I'll make sure matter of fact, let me see. I'm trying to add everybody that I can. I'm gonna add you as well, brother Al. I see you just popped up too. So once again, I just want to make sure you guys are starting to get this. So press 1 in the back chat. And see, this is unlike any other kind of value of a training, right? Because stock market training is very hands-on. Excuse me. And it requires you guys to be very, interactive, right? This is not like just reading a book, right? This is not like just picking up the book and just reading how to, whatever. You have to be interactive in this, right? But, again, over time, it will begin to make sense, by the more you keep going over and over and over and over, right? It becomes like a law, so to speak, right? So when you just look at this chart from a naked eye perspective, all you saw is a lot of green bars to the upside. For some of you guys that got that candlestick chart, right? So real quick, let's backtrack that real quick. The candlestick. We looked at the pattern one here, and this is just a portion of one that in the PDF that I sent you, got like all the patterns in there. So this is just a little small snippet of some of the patterns, right? No big deal here. There's plenty more of them out there, right? But from the basic aspect, this is kind of give you a little rundown of some of the different charts that you can look at in terms of understanding the patterns, right? In terms of a stock, if it's bullish or if it's bearish, right? Or if it's a bilateral pattern, meaning if it can go either way, right? So real quick, let me go back over here real quick. All right, because I want to blow through this information, but I want to be thorough and getting it out there to you guys. All right, 1 second. Okay, my little they acting all retarded. All right, let's see. All right, so this is kind of going over the candles, right? So again, we're just sitting there watching all those different candles, right? So we know anytime you have a big a big, well, in this case, it's not giving you the color, but it's just showing you in this moment, this is a very bearish candle, and this is a very bullish candle. So look at this as red candle, and look at this one as a green candle, right? So anytime you see a big green candle that big, right, and has a couple little wicks on the back end of that, right, that just means that this has some underside sellers to the upside or the downside. As long as your wick is big on the upside than the downside, that lets you know your stock is very bullish. So if this little top little wick right here, that's why they call it a candle. If this wick right here was actually real long and it was to the upside as opposed to this one down here on the bottom, that means there's a lot of bullish aggressive buyers that want to push this stock a little bit higher. But if this wick was longer to the downside, right, in some cases, and it wasn't necessarily a big body, right, or excuse me, if it was a big body, that means it may still have a few little undecided traders in there. Still makes it very bullish, but still in that moment you want to be careful based on what that means there. That's why you see these little symbols right here. Right here you see the big bear face right here, means bigger than the bull. That means this is a bearish candle. Over here you see the bull, right? That's a big green candle. Is very aggressively being bought up a lot of prices within that time span of that 1 minute candle, that 5 minute candle. That means it's a very bullish trade. Right. See, right here you have what they call like an inverted hammer, right? Inverted hammer is pretty much when you see this pattern, it's a little candle here. That's what they call like inverted hammer. That means it's a very bearish one because it's red, right? It's red. It got a big ugly wick to the top, but a very short buying body, right? That means it's a lot of undecided buyers in there, right? That means that's a very bearish candle. But if it's a long wick, excuse me, from the bottom, and it's nice little kind of like a little body to the top, right? A solid top side hammer, right? That means there might be some room for some buyers to come back in. So it's a little bullish activity going on there. And anytime you see it kind of mixed in the middle right there, that means it's a bilateral candle. That means it can go either up or down, right? So again, you're gonna go with yourself over and over and go over until to the point where it becomes law. So anytime we have these little sessions, we just touch on this stuff, and we're not necessarily spending all our time in it because we're gonna talk about it again and again and again and again, right? So that's why I say it's going to also require you guys to do your little homework, to your little due diligence, and keep going over and over some of the YouTube videos that you posted. Some of the guys, you're going to find some of them on your own. Hear other people talk about it, right? Again, let it saturate your mind. In your free time, get on your game, right? Be about your business, right? Be about learning this, once again, this opportunity when you have a lot of time to do so. So again, it becomes like a repetition scenario, right? Repetition becomes repertoire. Right, the more repetition value you put behind it, the more it becomes a repertoire for you. Right, that makes sense. Right, so that's why it's important to understand it from that perspective. Right, so again, that was just a scenario. I just want to kind of share that a little bit, so you can see exactly what I was talking about, right? And these are just different values of the different candle patterns. You can pull this chart up. It says candlestick cheat sheet. I mean, it can't get no more what, you know, turnkey than that. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit here. All right, it gets no more turnkey than that. Let me see. All right, I got this thing too big now. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right. All right. You can see it from here a little bit. Okay, so right here, right? So again, looking at these different patterns here, right? In terms of even the candles, right? We know the candles are a separate value, but it completes the pattern. So anytime you see the HOCL, right, high of the candle, the open of the candle, that means where the price open up within that candle in that time span. So if it's a 1 minute candle, that means open up what at this price point here, right? That means it closed in the entire body at this point, and this was just the low of the entire candle altogether. These little wicks here, right? As we just saw in that last little pattern value of what the wicks kind of symbolize in terms of, you know, if it's a bullish or it's a bearish value. But ultimately, you're just kind of seeing the open price, close price, the high of the candle, and the low of that candle. So in one candle, you can have, you know, one candle spike up over like $2 or $3 in one candle, or 30, 40 cents in one candle. And here's where it gets interesting, guys. Literally, when y'all saw me make some of them trades and I had our screen open doing some of the middays for you guys were able to catch them, and you saw that in one big bearish or one big bullish engulfing candle, right? One little 1 minute candle. Excuse my voice is going crazy. And one minute 1 minute candle, that stock jumped up like 70, 80 cents in one candle. So literally, you can make, you know, 70 to 80 cents to $1 plus in some of these 1 minute candles in 1 minute. Let that marinate, right? In 1 minute, you can pick up 70 to 80 cents a share in 1 minute. So when you hear people saying, going around that's in the stock market, say, man, I make my money that a lawyer, a doctor, and a judge, all this stuff in like 1 minute, right? They're not lying. I'm not lying when I come to you guys and tell you that kind of stuff. If I could pick up 70, 80 cents to $1 in 1 minute candle, in terms of it's open price, close price, and high price. And I mean, come on, I buy 1,000 shares. The stock jumps up 70, 80 cents in one candle. I picked up 70 cents a share in 1,000 shares. That means I made how much money in 1 minute? So 70 cents times 1,000 shares, right, is how much money? Somebody let me know what's the answer in the back chat. So again, 70 cents and 1 minute candle with 1,000 shares. I made how much money in a matter of 1 minute? Right. Somebody throw the number in the back chat real quick. Let me see where you at. I mean, we kind of tested on already. It's pretty turnkey, but what's the math on that? 70 cents times 1,000 shares. And then I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these big candle spikes that jump up and run, you know, a large amount of money in 1 minute candle. So what's 70 cents times 1,000 shares? Come on, mathematicians, y'all know that basic math. Come on now. Let me see you at. Throw it in the back chat, guys. I guess nobody ain't got their calculator open tonight, huh? So basically that's $700, right? So moving on, right? So $700 in 1 minute. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So get excited, right? Because that's why we do these workshops. So you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, we not all talk over here. We're going to show you some action. So I'm going to show you how juicy this is, and that's why I love what I do, right? So let me put this on the 1 minute chart, right? Now I'm going to go to I had on the 5 minute chart, that last one, right? So this is the 1 minute chart. So I like to trade the 1 minute charts. So you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. So I'm going to break this down to you guys so you can see exactly what I'm talking about here. All right, let me stretch it out so you guys can see it, you know, on YouTube world, right? So real quick here, guys, real quick. Let me stretch it out over right here. I just do this one here. Bear with me 1 second here. 1 second here. Let me stretch this chart out so we can make a lot of sense for you guys to see exactly why You guys are gonna be phenomenal at doing this once you learn this. All right, you're gonna make money on your time when you learn how to do it properly, right? So real quick, we're just talking about that 1 minute chart, right? All right, so if you guys are following along on YouTube real quick, right, $700, right? That's it, $700 in literally 1 minute, right? So real quick, I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not just all talk. This is action, guys. This is why I'm excited every day I wake up. This is why I'm super excited every day I wake up, right? Because I know this unlimited opportunity afforded to me, right? Given the right opportunity, I can make a ton of money, right? A ton of money. While everybody out there, going through the rigmarole, making excuses, slaving, whatever the case, I'm just quiet, sitting in the corner, trading these little stocks, learning how to use this craft, and making all this money, right? From the aspect of knowing that I can do it when I want to, right? And you guys are gonna be the same way. So real quick, let's find the biggest 1 minute candle out there on this chart. I would say will be this one here, if I'm not mistaken, right? So if you guys are paying attention in the back chat, this is a 1 minute candle. This is 1 minute in the market in this stock. And it offered a buy signal too, because guess what? You had a red candle right before it. So it opened up, it pulled back, lets you know that this was a buy signal, right? That inverted hammer, right? So to speak, right? But it had a big body. So let's go back to our little chart pattern, right? Let's see what we're talking about here, right? Let's go back to our little pattern here, little candle pattern here. Let's see where we at, so we can keep up here. Let's see, where is it? That's kind of like a shooting star action too. That's basically what this is. That's but that's on the bearish side. So I'm going to show you it from inverted hammer. So right here we go. I call it inverted hammer, right? So right here in the middle here, in this pattern here, even though it just one, it didn't have these like 3 red candles before it. You had an inverted hammer. That means it's a bullish candle pattern. That means guess what? The stock is still bullish. And it's gonna go to the upside, right? So let's go back to our chart here. That's why we say indicators and numbers don't lie, right? Because we saw that. Right here, you had a inverted hammer. Long wick to the top, big little red body on the bottom, right? Open up a pullback for the next a buy signal. That means more volume is gonna come back in. So this 1 minute candle here, guys, it opened up, right? Down, I think it opened up that probably somewhere around probably down here. It probably pulled back and opened up around here, right? So in this moment when it opened up right here, right, instantly it went from $32.44. I mean, if you bought the bottom of this candle here, right, we're not even talking about the wick down, we're gonna just do the entire body at 32.40, right? We'll just say 32.50, right, to be solid. It said 32.49. It's on right here on the chart. So we'll say 32.50, and in 1 minute it went all the way to $37, $37.40. Moment of silence. Let that marinate. So from $32 here, right? $32.50, all the way in 1 minute. 1 minute, guys, to $37.30, $37.40. So you picked up how much money a share? So from $37.40 to $36.50, how much money did you pick up a share in 1 minute? So we talking about near $5, near $5 in 1 minute a share. Again, let's see. Over David, he ain't got all day to be spending hanging around in the market all day. He looking for one little scalp opportunity to get in and get out. Right? Literally minutes. Literally minutes. He bought in, right? Because he saw that bullet signal going on with the stock. The stock is squeezing up, it's tearing it up to the upside. Hey, I got a couple minutes. I'm going to trade this real quick on the fly, right? Okay, I see my little pattern here. I said inverted hammer. That's a buy signal. That means the volume coming back in, just had a nice little pullback to recollect this before it shot back up, right? Brother comes in, literally at 10:44 in the morning. Stock spikes up in 1 minute candle, like $5 a share in one candle in 1 minute. Brother picks up $5 a share. The brother bought, let's say, 50 shares, right? Matter of fact, let's make this even more minuscule. The brother bought 10 shares. So if he bought 10 shares at $32.50, that cost him how much money? $350, right? So it costs them $350 to buy 10 shares. The stock spikes up $5 a share, $37.40-something. We'll just say $5, make it even number, right? So he picks up $5 times what? 10 shares. He made $50 in 1 minute. $50 in 1 minute. There's people that make $50 an hour that got a lot of education, that paid for a lot of education, that go through a lot of headaches and stress to get them little funky dollars an hour. And I ain't talking trash about it, but y'all get my point, right? Because they think that's like the best thing ever. Ain't nothing wrong with that, feeling good about it, but you worth a lot more based on what I'm saying. And that's my goal, is to get you to guys realize that y'all worth a lot more than what these people are trying to pay y'all, right? Because there's a lot of it's your money anyway, but they just kind of trying to pay you, you know, whatever. So again, that's $5 a share. See what I'm saying? In 1 minute. So you made $50 in 1 minute. So let somebody come around you bragging, talking about something, oh yeah, you know, trying to act all, you know, sedity and high side on you and all that little, you know, I got, you know, magna cum laude, I graduated, you know, I got my MBA in this. Excuse me, I got this and I got all this kind of education, all this kind of accolades and awards. I make $50 an hour, you know, and you be like, okay, well, I literally made $50 in 1 minute. In 1 minute. And they're like, what do you mean? Yeah, because I'm an investor. Oh, really? Yeah, I'm an investor. And you didn't strike me as an investor. What does investors look like? I thought it was all looking like people that work down in Wall Street, suits and ties and all that. Really? This is why you're working hard and I'm working smart. This is exactly why I'm working smart and you're working hard. Right? Because your value of how you even value opportunity is so shaded and jaded by this so-called, you know, fake little standard of life in terms of how you got to be, you know, warranted to be successful in life, and how people want to value you and how they look at you. They're looking at your peripheral. They don't see nothing about your skill sets. They ain't even tap into your mind. They just, you know, pretty much then stereotype you by how you look. And you making all this money. You know, still walk around probably, you know, basic little shoes like Bill Gates. Still drive a little Camry, right? But you got all this money in the bank. Generational wealth building, setting up for your children to be successful. So again, 1 minute, you know, we didn't broke the bank. Literally, you know, we broke the bank in 1 minute. And again, you bought 10 shares, $350. That $50, that's your Black Panther ticket admission. That's just some gas in the car, and that's just some snacks and jujus and wham whams and all that there. House money on the house. Get excited. Get excited. Patterns, charts, candles, understanding what you're doing, why you're doing it, how it makes sense. What are you looking at? When you look at that chart, what do you see? The first thing you see is what? Aggressive buying to the upside, because it's green, like a green light, right? You got the go signal. All day long, this was a go signal. You had an unlimited green light reality, so to speak. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about when I say that. So let's put it on the hourly chart, right? Let's see if we can break it down on the hourly chart. Let's see if we can do 1 day. Let's see. Hold up. This is where are we at? This is the, hold up, where is oh, that's 1 minute. That's why I'm trying to put it on the 1 hour. And let's see if we can break this down from, let me stretch it out. You can see exactly what I'm talking about here, right? Okay, 1 second, guys. So, right, because we know the market also, you know, from 9:30 to 3 o'clock, right? Let's give it to 4 o'clock. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Oh man, I'm way back here. Let me pull it back here. Bear with me, guys. Sorry about this. All right, so that's after hours. All right, here we go. All right, so this is so we're talking about the 14th, right? All right, so the 14th, right? So which was yesterday. So this is literally like you know, complete value of an hour here, right? So you got 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, right? So the market's open from 9:30 to 4 o'clock, right? Right. So you got 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30, right? 2:30, 3:30, 4 o'clock, right? So basically like 6 hours and 30 minutes, so to speak, right? Or, you know, we get one point, right? So in 1 hour, if you're just trading from an hourly chart, right? So I'm breaking this stuff down. I want y'all to realize how important it is to understand y'all craft and y'all new endeavor here is learning how to invest and trade, right? So follow me real quick here, right? Follow me real quick here. So in the morning, when the first stock opened up at what, 9:30, right? So let's say, you know, and this one here has this from 10 o'clock, but we know it's 9:30, you know, that pretty much the whole little time span from that to 10 to 11, basically. Excuse me, from 9:30 to, you know, to 11 o'clock, right? So basically from 10, the whole hour of 10, from 9:30 to all the way up to near 11. So in this moment here, right, in this little 10 o'clock, little 1 hour session here, from 10 o'clock to 11, you picked up, it opened up at what, 21 here, right, on the hourly chart, 21, 21, 21, right? Keep in mind, I told you I bought in at what, 21.30. Remember I told you that yesterday, guys, today, I bought in this stock yesterday at $21.30, right? So if I just want to trade the market in 1 hour, I don't have all day to be in the market, right? Even though I took it a little higher, but I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. In 1 hour, it went from $21, and we'll count the wick all the way up to $36.91. They ain't 37 bucks. We actually went 37.30. So we'll say from 21 to 37. Make it an even number. So in 1 hour, I picked up how much money per share? So from 37 minus 21. 37 minus 21. That's 1 hour in the market, right? Understanding using this candle, understanding the value of the pattern. Obviously, it was above VWAP, across over VWAP. That lets you know what it was a bullish trade at that point, even an hourly chart, right? Even if I want to buy in at above the VWAP, I still would have got in at 23 bucks here when it crossed over, right? But I already knew the stock was going to be aggressively being bought because it was what had news out. And, you know, obviously it was exciting news for the investors. I knew that the technical analysis and the fundamental analysis showed that the stock was going to be very aggressively bought because it had a very low float, right? I saw that the stock was beat up on its daily chart, you know, monthly chart before that. The stock was kind of necessarily, you know, kind of in an oversold position, right? So all the things align themselves, like moons align themselves for like a perfect eclipse, right? A perfect eclipse. Again, so for 37 bucks, right, down to 21 bucks, right? I picked up what, $16 a share? Isn't that what that number is? $16 a share, somewhere around there. Hold up, let me see. 37 minus 21. That's like $16 a share in 1 hour. In 1 hour, I picked up $16 a share. Let's say, right? Let's say I bought 100 shares. All right, 100 shares. I picked up $16 a share. How much money did I make in 1 hour? 100 shares, right? Which cost me, right? Y'all can do the math on that, right? 100 shares, right? Times $21.30 is how much, right? Do that math real quick. Y'all got about spit that math out quickly, right? So if I bought 100 shares at $21.30, how much did that cost me? 21 times 100. 21.30, excuse me, times 100. Let me see if somebody can throw that number in the back chat real quick. What's that number, guys? Where my soldiers at in the back chat? Where my mathematicians at? We got the calculator. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, over David. So I paid $2,000 $2,130 for 100 shares at 21.30. And in 1 hour, I picked up $16 a share. $16 a share. So 100 shares times $16 is how much? Follow me here, guys. $16 times 100 is how much money? Boom. Drops mic. Game over. Roll credits. Roll the beautiful bean footage. So again, your little high-sensitive friends come around you. I make $20 an hour. I make $30 an hour. I make $50 an hour. I make $80 an hour. I got all this education. I got all this student loan debt. I got all this, this headache and stress from responsibilities that if you want to, just because they paying me all this money, I got to uphold this little, white face, put on a white face every day to go impress master, right? I ain't down to nobody to make that kind of money. Y'all get my point. Y'all see where I'm going with this, right? They got to go through all that every day just to make that little money. And here I am, came into the market with a plan, understanding what I'm looking at, the chart, the pattern, the candles, the indicators, the oscillators, the news, the catalyst, the investor sentiment, the fundamental analysis, some back-end research that I did on my own time. Didn't require me to have a college education. Doesn't require me to have, some special skill set training. We had to sit in on some guru room, for thousands of dollars. And here I am being in the right place at the right time, right? And in 1 hour from 10 to 11, I picked up $1,600 in 1 hour. Who's winning? Who's winning? Who's losing? Who's winning? Who's losing? Excuse me. 1 hour. So again, and I just a modest understanding of, 100 shares. A modest 100 shares. I did tell you guys, some of the people I traded with yesterday, $44,000 yesterday, one trade. 20,000, 7,000, 8,000. A lot of people made thousands of dollars yesterday trading this stock. Excuse me, my voice a little bit. Thousands of dollars. Made people, annual salary in one trade. You did that in 1 day. 1 day. You made enough money to eclipse a person's total annual salary. You made that in 1 day. And these trades come along when they come along. It happen again, may not happen again for the next couple months. May happen the next day. Actually, here, case in point, it jumped up and ran again this morning. But guess what? Another one jumped up and ran this morning. Matter of fact, Oba David, right? Type in the back chat, Oba David, if you're able to type in the stock this morning that ran big time today, that you wrote it in the back chat earlier when I had my live stream open. What stock that jumped up and ran today as well? If you can, type that in the back chat, Oba David. Let everybody know what stock jumped up today and ran big money today. If you can, Brother David, type in that stock ticker that you posted in the Facebook group today that you watched today as well. Jumped up and ran a lot of money today. If he's able to, type that in the back chat for you guys. So again, just to let you know that stocks jump and run at any given time. And just because one happened yesterday doesn't mean another one won't come around and happen again today. So another one jumped up and ran. There it is. Brother Gordon, he owned it already too. Boom, boom. DXR, guys. Another one. Yesterday, again, you made thousands of dollars. You wake up today, man, I don't know what the day gonna be like. All I know is what I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm looking for opportunity. Let me find me another what? RKDA. What's popping? What the scanner's looking like? What's investor sentiment looking like? What the chart's looking like? Right? How is this make sense? How is this making sense to my value? Right? How is it gonna make sense to my money, basically? So guess what? Boom. Right? You just said there's something that makes $16 an hour, right? And $16 a share in 1 hour, right? Right. So let's get excited here. Let's ramp it up a little bit. And then we're gonna get ready to close out here, right? And there's just some basic stuff. We're gonna go over this stuff over and over and over. But keep in mind, right? Wrong one built in the day. So you guys gonna get this information. Trust me, your brother got your back, right? So don't this chart here look kind of familiar a little bit to a degree? This is a different stock now. This stock did this today. This stock did this today. Now, this is on the hourly chart. We're doing this, looking at this from an hourly chart perspective here. So let's break this down real quick. Boom. 10 o'clock. Here we go at 10 o'clock again. Stock opens up at what? $9.80. $9.85. We just say $9.85, even though it's $9.88. So $9.80. 1 hour. 1 hour, the stock goes up from $9.80 all the way up to what? $14 in 1 hour. That means you picked up how much money a share? $6 a share, right? Excuse me, $5 a share. Excuse me, $5 a share, right? So obviously a little less than that turns that because it's like 14.37. So, let's say $4 is like 75 cents. So $4.75, somewhere around there, you picked up, that amount of money at a lower price point too. Because what's interesting, right? Because this stock is a little bit cheaper, right? The other stock costs you what? $20 a share, right? Costs you a little bit more money to buy what? More shares. This one here is a lot less, almost like what? Half the price. So you got to add a what? Discount price, which gives you the ability to buy what? More shares, right? So now you buy what? A little bit more extra what? Shares, right? Because you can afford it now, right? So let's say you want to buy like what? Like what? $2,400 worth, right? Because the other stock costs you what? $2,130, right? So with this one here, you buy what? You buy what? Close like what? The 250 shares, somewhere around there, close to that. Let's just say 300 shares. Let's say you buy 300 shares, right? It costs you a little more. Now, well, let's say 250 shares, right? So 250 shares at $9 and what? 85 cents, right? So y'all do the math on that, and that'll give you the price it costs you. But at the end of the day, you bought what? Bought it like a little bit over $2,000, right? You pick up close to about $5 a share. So let's just say $4.75, right? Or for the sake of the bill for tonight, we'll say $5. So $5 times 250 shares. How much is that? Right? Somebody throw that number in the bad chat. 250 shares times $5. Where my mathematicians at? Right? It's why it's good to have that calculator, right? Because you got your little calculator, right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist. All you need to know how to what? Make you count some numbers, make it make sense, and what? Get after this money, right? ain't nothing rocket science about what we do. It's very basic. That's why you don't have to have all these, unnecessary skills. You need to learn how to just have some basic understanding. There you go, brother. So in 1 hour, you made $1,250 in 1 hour. Excuse me, 1 hour in the market. I'll marinate. Let that marinate. I'll wait. Excuse me. Let that marinate. I'm hoping you guys seeing value in this a little bit here. I'm hoping you guys seeing what I'm talking about here. Yesterday, you already crushed it. You killed it yesterday in RKDA. You wake up today, this morning, like, man, I hope I get me another RKDA, right? I hope I find me another little low float runner. Excuse me, another little runner, and you catch what? Another runner. Turn around, make another killing. So let's do it from the aspect of the 100 shares and the 250 shares. Yesterday you made $1,600. Today you made additional what? $1,250. In 2 days, you'd have made $2,800. Oh, and you did this in a matter of what? 2 hours. And that's not even selling it at the what? High of day. You didn't even wait it to even hit the high of day. You made that money in the first hour in the market, within the first little, volume value spikes in the morning, and you in and you out. You in and you out like a sniper. Then picked up $2,800 in 2 days in a matter of 2 hours per each day. $2,800. I'm not in your personal business, but I'm just saying, how many of you guys make $1,600 an hour? How many of you guys make $1,250 an hour? How many of you guys make $2,800 in 2 days with only 2 hours worth of work? With only 2 hours worth of work, how many of you guys make near $3,000? I'm not in your business. I'm just your brother, but you guys see what I'm talking about here? By understanding the pattern, understanding the chart, seeing what's going on, take advantage of the opportunity, you capitalize and you move on about your business. So for some of you guys that can't sit in the stock all day long because you got, other opportunity and other jobs and scenarios going on, things going on, these are your windows of opportunity. So, again, everything here tells you that it's good to go, right? So let's break this down to the 1 minute chart, right? So 1 minute chart, 1 day. excuse my voice, guys. Definitely forgive my voice here. Been a busy week, right? So real quick, this is the daily chart on the 1 minute, right? See those same little indicators. You see the same little view outline. You see the same volume. You see the same RSI down here. You see that same action, so to speak, right? The stock squeezed up, hit a high around $21.20, right? So that means if you bought in here at $9, right, and you rode it all the way up to $21 here at literally at 12:48. So we talk about right at lunchtime. So from 9:30 to 12:40, 12:50 here. Let's just say 1 o'clock, right? 12:50 here. You picked up, that's what, 10:30, 11:30, right? 2 hours and 30 minutes in the market. You picked up basically, you doubled your money. Basically, put it that way. You doubled your money. Well over doubled your money, obviously. But, because the stock opened up around like $8, $8.25, somewhere around there. Right? So again, you're talking about $12 a share, $12, $13 a share in a matter of 2 hours and 30 minutes. Right? So $12, if you just sat in the stock and just rode all the way up to the top, so to speak, somewhere around $20, somewhere around there, right? Because the feeding frenzy was just so, so ravenous, and you didn't panic when it pulled back here. Then pull back here underneath that 20-day moving average, exponential moving average, like we just saw the RKDA. You stayed in it and rolled it back up above that high point level there, and you sold up here at the top here in the crest of this RSI here in this little volume channel, little cup here, right? You walk away with $12, $13 an hour. A share in a matter of 2 hours and 30 minutes. Right. So again, 100 shares, right? You bought 100 shares, right? 250 shares, right? 250 shares times $12, $13. So, again, like I say, we here for the reason, for the the opportunity here. And this is why this stuff is kind of paramount, that you take your time through this workshop, give yourself the opportunity to kind of really make this stuff make sense to you, break it down. We're gonna go over this stuff for like a gazillion times. You guys got my personal value, attention to, as far as the mentoring. You can come to me with your questions. You can come to me with your things. Obviously, I know it's been rough for me the past week, so we gonna omit last week, right? Coming into like end of the following week and last week because a lot of stuff was going on for me personally. But again, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I mean, you guys got my attention, for the next 3 months. Obviously in terms of 3 month scenario, what I'm saying. But even outside of that, once you complete that, that's just a commitment to the training. Outside of that, you still got me forever if you choose to be my trading buddy and my family buddy, regardless. Right? This is just getting you through the commitment of the training, right? Show that you want to put some skin in the game and be, adhere to the one to get this knowledge, right? To the point when we go over it over and 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 over, it becomes like a law to you, right? And you can find value in why we do what we do, right? And why we, take certain trades over others, right? So again, I hope that made sense to you guys a little bit there in terms of how that information was kind of disseminated. How we made it make sense in terms of the indicators, the candle values, right? Because the patterns I showed you in the back chat, right? The different values of those different candles and what they mean, right? In terms of how you can break it down from a small, minuscule perspective, right? And then once again, all the other stuff we're gonna go over in terms of the technical value analysis and breaking down these different patterns, right? Double tops, triple tops, rising wedges, asymmetrical triangles, all that kind of stuff like that. We got, we're gonna touch on this stuff, all of it. All of it. We're gonna touch on all of that, right? It's paramount that once again you guys get this information because I know it's gonna do for you once you become a little bit more, astute to it. Let me pull back this one here. Right. So this technical indicators and oscillators, we're gonna break this stuff down here. So between now, obviously, if I'm able to come on Sunday, I want to do another show Sunday if I can. So right now, if everything work out, I'm gonna do a show Sunday too. Right. So we just need to vote in the time frame to do another show for Sunday. Right. So we can kind of keep hammering on this information here in terms of the indicators, oscillators, stuff like that. Right. I know it's late right now. So a lot of you guys are tired, had a long day. Some of you guys probably had to go to work. I get it. Right. And it's a lot of information. Like I say, that's why you can always go back and play this thing over again too. Once again, forgive my voice, but you guys know I'm going through a little bit too, so to speak. So, but again, we're gonna keep talking about it, keep talking about it, keep talking about it, keep talking about it. And then it's gonna become, more relevant to you guys over and over and over as we keep going over it. Right. So, Sunday show, we can break down, how to go with either, support resistance values, how to trade the double tops and double bottoms, which you see on the pattern chart, how to trade the head and shoulders, which is another pattern, how to trade wedge patterns, right? How to trade the flag, right? And the pennants. You're going to hear a lot of people talk about flags and pennants a lot when you get to start getting some of these trading rooms. How to trade triangle patterns, right? What to look for and stuff like that, right? So we kind of touched on some of that tonight slightly, not more in depth, but you kind of seen some of it without necessarily even noticing that you were seeing it, right? So again, wedge patterns, pennants, right? More of a flag, bull flag right here, right? Breakout a little higher here, right? So all these different little scenarios like this, you're gonna learn this stuff. Right. Go ahead, sis. Sorry. Somebody might have been open. Okay. Yeah. So again, opportunity all the way around us. So again, for the smart trader that was able to kind of catch these runners, back to back, you made good money. I mean, I don't care if it was $10, $20, $1,100, $10,000, $5,000, whatever. The opportunity was there, and we saw it real time. And again, I asked you guys, emphatically, how many of you guys can't see yourself doing this? I mean, for whatever reason, if you can convince me that you don't want to, you can't see yourself learning how to do this, then please let me know. Because two things are wrong. Either two things got to be wrong. Either, I'm not, explaining it good enough for you, or you just don't like opportunity. Right? Or you used to the hard grind of life. You got to go out there, do the sweat equity thing, right? Elbows and knees and blow your back out to be proud, right? No, I want to work smart, not hard. I want to have other things in my, underneath my belt value that I can use to benefit me, right? So again, you don't have to do this full time. You can do this on your free time. Again, you ain't got but an hour, You go in the market within an hour and crush it. You see this big long bullish candle right here? Right? That was that candle we just saw earlier, right? One of them. Well, this is another one. But again, from 14 bucks, you know, all the way up to like what, you know, 1543 in 1 minute. That's 1 minute. So in 1 minute, you picked up, you know, $1 plus a share in 1 minute. You could have scalped this stock in 1 minute. 2 minutes at top, 3 minutes at top right here. So it went from 14 bucks right here, 14 bucks, all the way up to like $17.80. Excuse me, $17 in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, you picked up $3 a share in this one little move right here, this one little sweet move here. Get excited. Get excited. 3 minutes, you picked up $3 a share. You know, so, you know, again, this is why we do this. Right? You bought 100 shares at $14, cost you $1,400, right? You make in 3 minutes, you make $300. That means you make $100 what? A minute. While your friend make $100 and you know what, you know, $100 an hour, you made $100 in 3 minutes. Who winning, who losing? Right? So get excited. Opportunity is all the way around us. So, you know, I'm just happy to share that with you guys in terms of the information. So, you know, again, we got more information, you know, within the back chat in terms of the information I put out there, the things that was going to go over, right? And, you know, there's a lot of good information in a lot of that in that material. That's why, you know, I post that material. It's not me just, you know, throwing it at you guys and saying, hey, you know, go figure it out on your own. It's just to show you that, you know, this opportunity and this information is all around you, right? It's there. It's there, you know, and, you know, if we use it properly, you know, to our benefit, you know, in terms of our free time where we can just do the studying, go through the due diligence, you know, y'all know what I'm saying? Go through the natural progression. The same way you have to learn how to, you know, ride a bike or whatever. Go through that natural progression. You know, spend a little bit, right? You only using what? Time. You spending time. You don't have to blow up. You're not blowing money, right? It costs you nothing to read this chart, right? It costs you nothing to go through the different little PDFs. It costs you nothing to kind of cross-reference it to the charts and, you know, the different little things that you're seeing here. Because, you know, my goal is to provide all that stuff for you. Like I told you before, I'm going to give you pretty much all the material that you, I mean, it's like a wealth of knowledge in terms of the material. And I know people out there that are charging for this stuff. I mean, literally charging thousands of dollars for stuff that you, if you just had the right wherewithal to go and find the stuff on your own. But again, having a good mentor or somebody of that nature can help walk you through it. It's priceless. And then break it down to you, you know, in Negro terms, right? In black man terms, so to speak, or black woman terms, so to speak. Right. I know my voice is a little crazy and my, you know, I guess my accent may be a little different for some of you guys, but you know, you guys pretty much understand me at this point, I believe. You know, again, so I'm gonna keep going over the same stuff, right? Even though it's gonna be different stuff, but you get my point. I'm gonna keep hammering over the things that I know that will eventually take root in your guys' minds. And then from there, it's gonna be lights out. Right. So in the back chat, you guys saw me post the technical analysis and chart interpretations. That's chapter 5. You can read the entire PDF if you choose, right? You should want to anyway in your free time. But tonight we'll deal, you know, strictly with chapter 5, right? Chapter 5, you know, detailing the value of you know, the different patterns and the different charts and stuff like that, right? The key concepts of technical analysis, right? Going over common types of charts, right? Understanding price data, time frames, right? Understanding how to kind of read the value of we're just talking about that, right? One candle here. You're seeing this from a data perspective. So this is what the candles look like before they brought in this new technology. This is how our traders used to have to read the market back in the old days. Imagine that. They had to go to a paper like this and see what was the open, what was the high, what was the low, what was the close. That's what your grandparents, not your great-grandparents, but probably them too, but your grandparents, this is how they had to read charts back in the old days, or maybe even some of you guys' parents. But this right here was back in the 70s, early 80s, or excuse me, 70s and 60s, around there. It's probably early 80s, whatever, right? This how they had to reach the stock market back in the old days. Same way you had rotary dial phones, push button phones back in the old days, the old school block phones. Excuse me. Now in 2018, right, even though it was a little bit before that, but y'all get my point. Now you guys got y'all have this now. This is what y'all have now in 2018. You have this. You got candles. That's your what? Open, your close, right? Your low and your high. In terms of, you know, this little candle right, especially this candle right there. Let me stretch this out a little bit here. This candle right here. Open, what? Close, low, and high. And you seen it right here. Old school. Straight old school. I had to read it from the paper like this, Sunday paper, the Wall Street Journal. So cheat things, I mean, cheat sheets and cheat codes all around you guys. So again, you know, there's different types. You know, you got the lines, you got the bar charts, right? Bar charts. I like to call liken them to what they call ladder rungs, right? I used to call them ladder charts for me because they interconnect with each other. You know, from a 1 minute chart perspective, you can see how it looks on a 1 minute chart perspective. A lot more cleaner. Matter of fact, let me go to my little from the day, my little trades from the day, right? In this one little particular scenario here. So if you look at this one, even though these kind of candle, but they kind of connect somewhat like the same way, right? Let me see if I can, yeah, right here. So if you look at this chart right here, from this candle here, they kind of connect like a bar chart, even though they're candles, but they're still like a bar chart, right? One, you know, connects to the other like a ladder rung, so to speak, right? You connect, then you have gap ups, whatever that's different here. That's the gap up spaces, then whatever. So you're seeing exactly what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, let me go to the SPY, right? Same space, like connect, like Lego blocks, right? So again, you know, hey, you know, we here, guys. We here, and I hope you guys here, you know, for value. I hope you guys here for the knowledge. Hope you guys here for, you know, the opportunity. You know, so, you know, go through the information. Have any questions? Hit me up personally. Hit me up in the back chat. Whatever. You know, obviously, you know, time to get a little more freed up now. You can, you know, reach out to me, call me, right, and we'll break this down, right. So what do we have? We have the technical analysis and chart interpretation, chapter 5. You have some patterns here. There's a lot more in obviously in that PDF. These are just some little small ones to have, you know, around you to kind of overlook, you know, real quick. The candles, how to break down a candle, you know, from a bullish to bear, to different values of those different types of candles. Then also we have what, like we was kind of talking about a little bit, you know, understand that support resistance. We talked about that a little bit last week. Support resistance. We're gonna keep talking about that over and over and over, right? Go through that, and then obviously the complete guide to choosing what online broker, right? Getting a broker in place, right? So then we can start breaking down what some trades, right? So again, all this stuff, hey, once again, there ain't nothing over the top over you guys, you know, ability to comprehend it, various turnkey stuff. So with that being said, open up the floor real quick for some question and answers, right? Go with some daily values for the next session, and then we'll get you guys out of here, right? We don't have to be on here 12 midnight, right? So is there any questions? Anybody want to come on the panel that I haven't already added? If not, you know, you have any questions in the back chat, type in the back chat, I answer them. Anybody that may be on the panel at this point, feel free to ask any questions if you have any. Let's break it down. All right, let me did I? Yeah, I closed the screen share. Okay, great. All right, so any questions, guys? Any questions? No, it sounds like a lot of information. I know it's late. Some of you guys probably, you know, probably just maybe listening in, can't necessarily type whatnot, you know, whatever the case. But if you have any questions, let me know. My voice all over the place, but I'm gonna fix that tomorrow too. I got something to knock that out, and not some of that tussing. I don't have to worry about that robot tussing. You got that good. Any questions, guys? Is there any questions in the back chat? Any questions in the back chat? Let me know if there's any questions in the back chat. Any questions from a panel guest, my distinguished panel guests? Any of you guys have any questions about the information tonight? You know, Any more, you know, if you need any more clarity, anything like that, let me know. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Everybody pretty solid so far. Again, we're gonna go over the stuff, you know, a lot. So, you know, y'all know how I do stuff. I'm gonna, you know, hammer it over, you know, I tied into the next session from the next, and we're gonna keep talking about it. You know, when we do this little session for you know, for Sunday per se, I'm gonna look to do another session for Sunday, right? Get in the habit of doing maybe like 1 or 2 a week. You know, obviously the weekends are more solid for a lot of us anyway. You know, because like most of us are all for not necessarily overly busy in some cases, but you know, again, it's just about timing. So Brother David said, what's the watch in the morning? Excuse my voice. What's the watch in the morning? By what standard, Dave? Are you talking about stocks, or are you just talking about just information, Brother David? What are you talking about for us? What the watch in particular? You mean is it meaning patterns, or what particular are you talking about, Brother David? Or stocks? So basically what I do every morning, unless I have swing trades, I wait till the market opens up, because obviously in that moment, anything that's happening in real time gives you the best understanding of what may be in play today, right? Something that may have jumped up, you know, tonight during after hours and been very bullish in terms of some value may sell off tomorrow in some aspects, right? But it depends on, you know, where the stock is at in terms of this previous chart history, what's the sentiment behind it, you know, what's, you know, why people are excited about it, etc., right? So for me, what I like to do, if I don't take any swing trades going into the close, excuse me, I like to wait for the market to open up, right? That's why I'm up like very early a lot of times, like 5 o'clock sometime, 4 o'clock sometime, 6 o'clock sometime, and I'm up studying the market, right? The early bird get the worm. I mean, it is literally true in the stock market. The early bird do get the worm, because that person that's up early doing that natural progression of due diligence, searching, reading news, finding what's popping, who got earnings, who dropping, you know, some kind of, you know, hot catalyst. I was like DXR did. DXR is what dropped news this morning, right? Turns to what? They little heart value stuff and turns to blood value stuff. Investors ate that up. And when they did the fundamental analysis on the stock, found that the stock had, you know, X by the third in terms of the float value, and they just went to buying that thing up like what? Like it was like your grandmama crab cakes or something. Literally. Right? So again, if we look at this stock right here from its technical analysis, right? This is what we're talking about, technical and fundamental analysis, right? Go ahead, sister. Oh, that might have been a thing here. I'm sorry. So real quick, and then we get out of here. Oh, I ain't got my screen share on. I'm sorry. Let me do this real quick. Show you what I'm talking about real fast here. Then we get out of here. All right, so real quick, this is how you do like a fundamental analysis, right? We're talking about technical analysis, is understanding the chart, the pattern, the catalyst, and all that, investor sentiment. Fundamental analysis is what going over what? The book value, right? Seeing where it's at in terms of its numbers, right? Market cap, right? You don't have to really know all that kind of stuff right here for all you until you get real more what technical in your trade in terms of cash burn, dividend value. You know, is the stock short of all that kind of stuff like that? You know, price per share, price per earning, PEG, PE forward price and earnings perspective, earnings per share. You get into that stuff a lot later, right? That is not necessarily needed at this stage in terms of your learning. It is useful to know once you get to this point, though. That's why we have information out for this as well, right? Fundamental analysis breaks that stuff down to a T, right? We'll walk through some of this stuff, but most importantly, if you're doing what they call like a very quick search value, quick fundamental breakdown analysis on a stock before you trade it, because it has news. You want to see if the stock gonna be in play, right? You want to look at the float, right? If that float is very low, it's like a Cadillac that's sitting on, you know, some tens, right? But would you keep them clean, right? They ain't got to be 20 inches. They sitting on some tens. Cadillac sitting on some tens. Cadillac brown on tens. Excuse me, very low to the ground. The lower the float, the higher chance with abnormal volume that the stock is going to do what? go higher. That means there's less shares available. That means they're scarce, which also means that the more buying that comes in and buy up those shares, the higher it would cause the stock to do what? Squeeze higher. And by that, any people that might have been short in the stock, meaning betting against it, they're going to get what? Overpowered and ran through, literally. They will not be able to sustain pushing the stock down with the stock trading at this many low float value of a share. So that means this stock right here has a float value, guys, of only 740,000 shares available to be traded. Let that marinate. Today alone, right? We're talking about 740,000 shares available. Today alone, the stock traded. I'm going to show you exactly how much shares the stock traded today in terms of its float value, right? Let me go back to the daily chart. I'm in the daily volume. Right here at the top here, guys. This stock traded at 18 million shares today. 18 million shares, right? I mean, you talking about literally, Dana, what, 2x, 3x the volume in terms of the volume today? 2 or 3 times, Dana, 3 times the volume today. That means you traded its entire float. It got traded well over two times. Easily. That means it caused this stock to have a massive push to the upside. All that aggressive buying that was happening. So 18 million shares were traded today. Stock went up well over 100-something%, easily well over 100% today. Obviously, when opened up at 8.25, somewhere around there, and went up as high as $21. So it dang near, triple this price today. Dang near. And it did that in a matter of 2 hours and 30 minutes. Not even 2 hours and 30 minutes to be exact. Somewhere around there. So that's what, like I said, that's what it means to understand the value, understand the fundamental analysis. So you see the float value, the shorts that were short in stock was very low. I mean, when a lot of people trying to short this stock because they know a stock, with a float that low, and it has, big volume coming in, that's gonna be game over for them. So it normally trades at an average volume of 134,000 shares. Let that marinate. It had an average volume in terms of trading value of only 134 shares in one day. 134,000 shares in a day's span as of late. But today it traded upward towards 18 million shares traded. All the way from 134,000 shares to 18 million in one day. That means that stock was gonna go crazy high. And it did just that, as you see right here on this chart, right? Because guess what? It came from all the way from like $4. Let that marinate. We're talking about, literally about 3 or 4 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, the stock was trading like, like under $4, guys. $4, and it went all the way up to like $21. Just literally days ago. So, just like I said, again, this is why we do this, guys. This is exactly why we do this. But what I will do, Brother David, I post, I open up, I try to get in early in the morning, and I post, my pre-market watch list, meaning, what's moving on the scanners. So you can see exactly what's going on before the market opens up, right? So by being, on top of your game earlier, you can kind of make a decision in some of the stocks that you might want to look at. For some of you guys that's already trade, you might want to trade them. I'll post that list out there and kind of give you a little breakdown of what I see, in terms of my little analysis. I was given the time to do it, and that way you can kind of see what's going on. So I'll do that in the morning. Excuse me. All right, so I hope that answered your question too, family. So is there any more question, guys? Before I get ready to get out of here, let you guys get out of here so you can go be with your family, your loved ones, on this late night value. As always, we be burning the midnight oil. That's why I think, when we do open up some of these Sunday sessions, it's going to be a lot more easier for everybody too, right? We just got to come up with a good time on Sunday, right? And, some of them Sundays I could be able to do them, right? We can knock it out early in the daytime, in the morning, maybe a little bit afternoon time. And we knock out, a couple hours while everybody kind of fresh and vibrant. It's the weekend, right? And we'll go over a lot of good material and good information. All right. All right. So if there's any more questions, guys, let me know. If not, I'm gonna get ready to close out for the evening. I hope this session been very informative. Again, forgive my voice. I hope you learned a lot. I hope it brought value to you guys, from every session from one to the next. I really do hope you guys are really taking advantage of this opportunity. And for what it's worth, again, you're here because you want, to learn what you can, in a way that's going to help build you, or put you in a scenario where you can take advantage of some value, financial freedom, right? Putting it in the right perspective and using it to your benefit, right? And again, you're still early on in this journey, just 1 month in, really, going into 2, right? Rome one, I hate to even use that term. I'm not going to say that. I hate that little raggedy term. Forget thinking behind Rome. Kemet wasn't built in a day, right? Waset wasn't built in a day. Punt, Nubia, Kosh, Meroe, right? They wasn't built in a day. Took our ancient African ancestors years to quantify the math and the sciences and the architectural skills to build those great empires, build those great civilizations that the world's copying off of today, right? And guess what? If y'all saw the early value of the information about when you was learning how to trade, or the information I put out there in terms of where even this stuff comes from in terms of trading, right? This is not a European concept. It come out of India and Asia, to be exact. This stuff comes from Asia and India. Before that, obviously, it came from Kemet, Africa. I'm not gonna say Kemet, but Africa. But they took it to the next level in terms of the Asians, right? And then obviously Europeans came last, like they did on the Earth, and then they copied it, right? This whole concept of learning how to trade, borrowing against certain, commodities, and so all that stuff comes straight from the Asian value, right? So again, value, opportunity. Let's turn it into success, and the rest will be history, right? That's why we're here. So if there's any more questions, guys, I'm gonna leave on a good note. As always, I hope the information was informative. For some of you guys that are still able to chat, they can type in the back chat. Let me know if the information was good for you guys tonight. If it made sense to you guys tonight, please press 1 in the back chat. Let me know that it was, it was very comprehensible, despite my voice a little bit. Let me know that I brought value to you guys, and you learned something tonight, one way or the other, so I can kind of keep, improving on what I'm doing, from one moment to the next, so I can never, slack on my job, right? So if you learned something tonight, please press 1 in the back chat. We dumbed it down a little bit. I know it's still, complicated in some aspects, but we're going to get there. Once again, that's why it's 3-month commitment. And then after that, you're still going to be locked into me. So again, I know some of you guys are antsy. You want it all up front, man. But you can look at the material and you convince me that you can learn all this stuff like literally overnight. Then you one bad brother or you one bad sister. So take your time, learn it. You take your time. Let's go through this stuff. Just commit your time. I know everybody don't have the same time availability, but at the end of the day, still commit yourself to the opportunity, right? You're going to hear other perspectives when I bring in other guests. My goal is to set you guys up, in the best environment, and then the rest will be history. All right. So again, appreciate you guys for spending your time this evening. You didn't have to, but you're showing me that you want to, because obviously, you got some skin in the game. You donated. You want this opportunity the same way that I wanted it when I came into it. And I didn't have nobody really break it down to me this way. At this level, I had some people I was following, but not at this level. So, I just want to bring value to you guys. So I appreciate you guys. So thank you, Over Al, my best. Thank you, Over David. Thank you, family Alex. Thank you, brother Derek, brother Gordon, Eva Kiana, Eva Monica, Eva Erica. Everybody is in attendance. Everybody, over Caesar. All you guys. You guys are awesome. I always appreciate you guys. And what we're trying to accomplish here. With this session value. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Anybody else, excuse me, that I might have left out. My best to you guys, and I appreciate you guys for your time. And Sunday, you guys come up with a time. Make sure you kind of discuss this in the back chat. I posted in the back chat and Facebook group. Let's come up with a time Sunday. I'm gonna try to push for Sunday. open up, another little session, so we can kind of, get into the habit of kind of, trying to get us 2 sessions in sometime within 1 week, right? As we kind of get a little bit more hands-on with this stuff. So, if y'all come up with a time Sunday, we will see if we can run it, right? And I posed it to everybody again too. So again, that's what it's all about. All right, so yeah, brother Al, you say what? Yeah, I can see myself quitting my job soon. I don't even want to leave my house and go back out there. Yeah, I already know how you feel, brother. I already know how you feel. Trust me when I tell you that, family. Ain't no better feeling than being able to kind of be in the driver's seat. Once again, it's a journey, right? It's a marathon, right? So, we're not going to get this overnight, but once it really sets in, sacrifice now, because it's going to pay off later. Trust me when I tell you that, it's going to pay off later. You may not see it right now because you're antsy. It seems like a lot. You're trying to make sense of all this. You're like, man, what's this guy talking about? Oh God, this here makes sense. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know how to value this. I don't know what to think about that. Give it time. Africa and its greatness was not built overnight. Give yourself time to absorb this. I'm not going nowhere. Those ancestors keep me here in the universe, keep me here. I'm not going nowhere. I'm be right here, right? And help bring value to you guys. So I thank you guys. I thank you guys, and I appreciate you guys as well. All right. So again, on that note, we'll leave on a good note. As we always say, trade safe, choose well, and stay green. Uncle Johnson Nell, Shem Hotel to the family, power and profit to you awesome people. We in this thing, locked in this thing, right? Like 4 flat tires. I'm family. You got the family to me. Let's build this thing, guys. Let's build it. And then take this skill and turn around and trade, and share it with your babies. Share it with your family, your spouses. Share it with your cousins and all the people around you that's not trading the market. Bring that awareness to them too, right? All right, so guys, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get out of here. Appreciate your time. Forgive my voice again. You guys are awesome. My best to you guys and your families. Uncle Johnson Dale, I'm signing off. Your brother Afurakan Emporium. Appreciate you guys much. Power and profit.